I did my trusty Forex search this morning and came across I think he's from Australia. He's got a weird finish to his accent. And he's the Forex Market Technical Insights, episode 89. If 88 didn't convince you, 89 should. Anyways, I'm sure he means well and all that jazz, but it's another psychological issue I think we're having here with the trading, is that do you sit and wait? Or do you sit and wait in a bad trade? And so here's the big fork in the road, is that do you get in the market now and suffer the drawdown, or do you sit on the sidelines waiting for the perfect setup and then suffer the drawdown, or do you sit on the sidelines and wait to enter because your system gives you a signal? This is the typical phrases, buzzwords. I'm just calling buzzwords, just like the buzzword salad that the left has for inclusions. We need inclusion. Okay, could you spell how that would work out? Well, you need to trade to make money, see? Okay, well, now how do I get into the market? So my big focus, my big raison d'etre is to be about execution, because, Mark Douglas was about, you need to be able to execute the trade, and you can't have any, not that you don't have emotion tied to it, but you got to be able to compartmentalize it. Like, this is what Bill Clinton could do really good. He's like, well, I know I'm banging this girl in the Oval Office, but dude, I'm a politician. Come on. So this dual lifestyle, right? Who knew that some of these people were the other way, right? So you have this part of you that is the reptilian brain. You're still having to survive this issue. And what I'm saying is, when you buy $1,000 position, or you buy $1,000 of Bitcoin, or whether you buy $20,000 of Bitcoin in one trigger pull at this price because you think it's going to go higher, I couldn't resist looking at the comments about Bitcoin. And the guy that wrote The Black Swan did a video when Bitcoin was this is April 23rd, and Bitcoin's about $44,000 or $50,000, and he's saying it's like a Ponzi scheme, or he's just saying it's ridiculous. And he was in the trade once, but then he got out. Now I don't think he got out for technical reasons, and the comments were interesting. People's view on what's going on. But it really comes down to that. And then I got into an argument with a guy in the Bitcoin. I'm like, dude, look at it. He's like, I averaged in at $5,000, at $5,000 a share of Bitcoin. He averaged it. But I always have to ask those people, how big was the entry, and did you cash out anything when everybody's heads were exploding and everybody's very bullish on Bitcoin at 60,000, at 50,000? Bitcoin is, and then he was accusing the guy that wrote The Black Swan of being an old man, and what does he know? And I used to say that about, my dad, of course, when I was 20 years old. I'm like, dude, what do you fucking get your head up your ass? And I would say, oh, let's go fight City Hall. And he'd say, you can't fight City Hall. And apparently you can't, because you'll end up in jail as an insurrectionist if you even show up at City Hall, right? Because of the emotions that are fueled underneath the whole situation. But we can't go into that. But you see what I'm saying? We have the same fight or flight response to the market. If we get into a very small position, myself, I notice the feeling is not any different than if I'm in a big position. I think when I'm in a big position, I would feel the drawdown more if it went against me at all. And every time it goes for me, this is in the Mark Douglas examination of behavior people typically have about things, that they go into euphoria. So the euphoria of winning makes you think whatever harebrained algorithm you wrote, thank God it's working. Okay, so this would be the crudest. Of course, your reptilian mind has a crude view of reality. Your intellectual mind has to say to yourself, okay, but you're only risking $10. Why are you so upset? Well, because I'm wrong about the trade. Can't you see I'm wrong? So there's a fork in the road here. So you're fighting and you're also fighting the fact that the world now is on a grid. And I hate to sound like an old person, that guy that was commenting that the old people don't know what the fuck's going on, that you're a boomer X. You're on a fucking grid. You got atomic clocks. You got a goddamn cell phone, a fucking Apple Watch. You're buying shit with your watch. I seen a guy buy shit. My buddy's buying shit with his watch. I'm like, really? Okay. He wasn't running Bitcoin. I think he was just running old school shit. And the blockchain's a catalog of inventory of its transactions. So what? And to try to run the dollar index, and he's claiming, dollar's a 39-year low in the strength of the dollar. Dude, you could still buy a fucking microphone, a dynamic microphone. It still costs fucking like $100. That shit has not changed. There is no change. I mean, that's been going on for how long now? It kind of cracks me up. You go into any fucking music store, a fucking SM57 or SM58, isn't it it's either 120 or $100. Dude, it's been like that for 40 fucking years. Well, 40 years. Yeah, when I was 20 years old, you could buy a fucking, maybe $70. But what the fuck? It's because nobody fucking gives a shit about this microphone. Now, if you talk about lumber, I got to build a house because I just made a big real estate. There's some buffoon fuck. Trust me, there's some fat-fingered dumb shit, big whale motherfucker behind the scenes that pulled the trigger on some real estate deal. Maybe he created a shortage in lumber. Or he's a fucking woke dumb shit and he pulled the trigger and went the wrong way. There's people out there, also another Mark Douglas tangent. It only takes one motherfucker in the world to fuck up your stupid ass fucking algorithm. So sorry to get all pissed off, but it didn't take long. How long did it last there? 7 minutes. Okay. What the fuck? When I look at this chart, based on the way I enter the market on limits, I could see all my trades. I'm like, yeah, though that would be a pounding. But I have a view of the void more than the price. So I've inverted my view. I've also had to make it okay for me to trade. I want to scale in and scale out. At every point on this chart, I can see putting on a small position. And I think the idealistic view, or this, where people think they're going with all this education bullshit, is they're somehow going to get around the fact that you have to make a series of trades. Now, when I heard that, I was very upset. You mean I can't just get good and be one shot, from Deer Hunter? This is one shot. Just really? I can't be a sniper and just fucking, well, maybe you can. Maybe you're that guy, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to sit there in a market that's slamming up and down like a rape fucking date on fucking, Jim Jones juice, whatever the fuck the latest buzzword shit is, like a Waco fucking crackhead. So what the fuck? I want to nail that fucking trade. So when I put on a trade and go to sleep, somebody asked about the risk. Now, I'm just picking out, like, I'm going to risk $50. I'm going to go to sleep, put a $50 to make $100 on the table. I may not lose 50 and I may not make 100. There's no guarantee, but since I'm trading it precise so what I did was I spent the time to write all the trade plans. So I'm running 100 trade plans, unique trade plans. There's some duplication. I can see when I get filled. If I see that I have too much inventory at the same price, I'm kind of like, you know what, we got to work on that. So I'm always trying to fine tune. I want to capture. Basically what I'm saying is I've found a way to catch a falling knife, because knives fall at a rate. If the hands are disappearing in front of the knife, you're not losing any fingers. You want to catch a falling knife when you go to sleep and you can't babysit the market. You want to have it so it martingales in. The very deep orders have the most size. So you're in lightly. If I wake up and I'm in 20K and I'm like, oh fuck, well, it looks like we're going to smash down. I'll scalp out my 20K, do a partial. Now, if I can. If I don't give a fuck, I'm going to go to sleep. Let them stop me out of those. I got a bigger basket beneath me. I'm counting on the market destroying every trade plan any dumb shit's ever written. Any strategy any fucking goober has ever come up with. My shit is, in a black swan sense, robust enough and crude enough to withstand that. And that's how I'm trading. Now, the problem with the demo is that I've reached $25,000. Now, for me to make another $25,000 the way I'm doing it with only using 1,000 tickets, I only get into $1 million position now. Running my widest stop is 50 pips. Those are at the market tickets. 50 make 100. Now, when I see a market drop like a fucking whore on the 4 hour, because it's a demo, and I want to use that also as a surrogate. Like, so if I've used this analogy before, maybe it's too much, but if you have a stunt wife, okay, this is like a girl on the side. A lot of politicians do this. So you have maybe 3 girls on the side. I saw a movie where it was a Lifetime movie, of course, where the guy has 5 bitches in 5 towns. He's a pilot. Well, it's perfect, right? He's a pilot, so what could be better? He's banging them all, and eventually, one of them finds out about the other one. Oh, why do you have V juice all over your lips, and what's going on here? The stuff that happens, to people, amazing. The market looks like a bad relationship in that sense too. The price behavior. I'm just going to point this out before I can't take it any longer, but I'm just going to point out this. This is the daily chart. Now, this guy's looking for a move. I don't know what kind of move he's looking for. His time frame is so broad, and I don't know if people like him. He's got a bunch of subscribers. His accent's a little tough. Let's dive into it. But just before I let him rip into his nonsense, that's another. This is like if you're having fun trading, and that's how you feel like you're participating in the world financially, then that's all you need. So even if you're losing money slightly, this is the no nonsense argument. Okay, I'm not killing it, but I'm not. A lot of the guys in the Discord are big fans of. I'm not losing any money. Yeah, but you're not risking any. That's why you're not losing any. It's not like you're not losing any because you've never lost a trade. I mean, these are two different. And the reptilian brain is going to have this on and off switch. Are you winning or losing? So you have, are you winning or losing? And then the financial side of your brain is, well, how much are you? That's a secondary question. Now, if you invert most of the stuff that you think about, well, how much is it going to cost me to trade? That's a better starting question. Like, how much money do you have to risk? If you have $100 to risk, I would say, now this is not going to be a percentage of account because how much is $100 to you? Can you risk $100 a month trading? If that's true, I would say trade with a stop, like a 50 pip stop, say. I have a 50 pip stop, a 100 pip stop, and I've got, in just case I'm really good at trading, I'm going to put in that 20 pip stop. It's rare that the market, if you pull the trigger randomly at any time of day and only step back with a 20 pip stop, and I'm going to say the British pound, you're never going to fucking survive that. Even that one stupid trade. I mean, if you just, what blows my mind is really people that are saying, well, we're going to send out a signal, you're going to get in this trade, and here's your target. Not only are you so fucking good at entering, and I almost think that risking 2% of your account on the stop, all of a sudden I think that's a good idea, because the people that try to say, well, you see, there's a Fibonacci down here, so we're going to put our stop just below the Fibonacci that we know all the retail, what? Don't get me started on the people that think the markets, it's like these people think they're, I also couldn't resist watching a GameStop video where there's a guy that really understands how markets move, and he goes, you really think this is going to go to $1,000 because a bunch of fucking Reddit dumb shits got in there and bought it? So that's another, but let's not go to. let's get back to the fact that people are assuming that when they get their fucking algorithm tuned up, that they're just going to load the wagon on that thing. It's only going to take one guy in the world to wipe out your thing, and you're risking 2% of the count. Yeah, I get it, because you're limiting your risks to exposure in a crude, blind method. But if you understand market structures and what's really going on, and I hate to sound like these guys that I'll show you what nobody. It just takes looking at it and running strategy tester and calling out your trades. What would I do now? What would I do now? There's no fucking excuse for this guy not putting a pending limit above here, and you fucking won't do it. I've only been 3 minutes into here, and I'm astounded by it. People can't understand that you got to. It comes back to this cliche, you got to buy low and sell high. You also have to sell high and buy low. So even if you're short and it's going your way, at some point, you got to know when you're in the domain of the other people, that you just run out. You're into the... So auctions have time limits. That's why it's auction theory. See, the market's going to close. Going, gone. This is the whole... How people can't see this is not an auction. The bidding process increases, and there's going to be a battle between the highest bidders, and they're going to bid, and then, okay, it's the burning match theory, right? Somebody's going to be holding this match. It's not going to... These moves don't go on forever. There's momentum in them, and they go to a level. And this is what's going on. Whether you're there to see it or not is a whole different story. And you're probably going to watch it because I guess they're letting guys watch babies being born now. Now, I don't know. In the old days, that was just like, no, sorry, that's your gig. I'm here just to bang you. That's going to be, I don't know, unless it was an emergency, not a lot of guys showing up for the delivery. And I don't know, I think I was sidetracked there. But no, the same thing's true here. You kind of, like, I guess it's watching the drama of the market. If you're on the 5-minute chart, and of course, this is the daily chart. Check out this move here. Okay, let's just take a look at this. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-day sell-off that starts at, and I'm just going to call out this is a order block here. Any doji is an order block, in my opinion. It's just as good, right? Order block just means a kind of a consolidation point, which is a doji is a consolidation. It's a flag. It's a pennant. The nice thing about the candlesticks is that when you see a small body, think entry into the last price pulse down. That's the only trading system you need. Look at this cute little doji here. And then it just continues. Why? Why does it continue? Because it goes sideways. And let's talk about the counter trend traders here. The guys that buy new lows on limits, like me. This is daily chart. Now, this has got to be quite a bit of financial punishment. Unless you run 300 pip stops. Now, here's the $100 account guy I was talking about. You could risk $30 per trade, $300 stops. You could trade 3 positions. So the tighter your stop, the more you could trade. But then, of course, who's really doing this trade I'm talking about here? Inside the 4 hours here, there's dojis to jump on the train to go south here. Obviously, from a breakout standpoint, from the crudest fucking systems in the world. On the 1 hour, there's an overbought position to get in. On the 4 hour, there's an overbought on the RSI to just sell, sell, sell. You've fallen through the floor, but trust and believe. There's bankers out there that don't trade with stops. They buy here. They buy a 1E, a 2E, a 3E, a 4E. They're prepared to buy all the way down here, and maybe they do. And they buy all the way down. There's 2 different trades going on here. There's the Breakout traders getting in on the dojis as we collapse. There's the big boys. They start buying a 1Z, a 2Z, a 3Z. It's called martingale. A 4Z, a 5Z, a 6Z. They don't care. They're bankers. They buy so much below this threshold in this trap. They load the fucking wagon here like you can't fucking believe. And where do they scalp to? The floor. Now, if you're just a guy that can't risk a lot, high probability exit is to buy in no man's land and come back to the floor. Now, if you can hold for the full tilt auction until this wicks out this structure, wow. Now, if it goes screaming up for 2 fucking days and you got in down here, how is this so difficult to understand? I think it is because fucking MACD and all this shit people have come up with, all this bullshit, want to paint on their fucking screen some fucking narrative on moving averages, crossovers. Are you fucking nuts? All the money, all the good ratio money's being made in the auctions of deep fucking discount. If you're going to buy below here, and it comes back to here, right? It comes back to here and you cash out. You don't have to even sit around for this move. By the same token, if you can handle trading all these moves, and this is basically, I'm trading these are I'm showing all the trades. There's so many trades on here, but you got to figure, okay, well, what can you psychologically handle? Do you really want to buy below this floor? Okay, now this is another obvious deep auction. Look at this wick. Now this is the ultimate low risk entry. You're looking for this entry. This is probably too deep for your pockets. If you start buying, well, people say, well, where do I start buying? If you start buying here, holy fuck, you can make that and then some to here. Can you not? It's obvious what's going. I could give me any fucking chart in the world. Now, Bitcoin, the problem with the goobers in Bitcoin is that they don't realize you're not having rephase. The thing is so fucking, it could come all the way back to 20 grand, which I think it's going to be by next year. It'll be 20 grand and then 10 grand. And it may waffle for 5 fucking years, like I predicted in gold. Fucking 5 years of waffling in a 800 pip range on gold. It ain't going to fucking moon, dude. And these people talking, well, it's a 40-year, dude. I can buy a microphone, okay? I'm good. Now, let's also go through this chart and with these trade plans that we know are for certain. It's gonna be cuss Saturday. I'm swearing to this is not age appropriate. I just watched these fucking Black Rifle Coffee dumb shits. Fucking these people are fucking retarded. I just left the message on their tote board. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I need your permission to wear your t-shirt. Fuck off. So this is a complete entering here like this, completely different. But look at this. This becomes a winner if you could hold through this whole plunge. Now, who's doing that? No, retail traders that I meet or the people that I comment, I ask them how tight a stop. These people run 5 pip stops. Dude, you're shipping and handling. If your broker's giving you a half a pip, they're charging you half a pip commissions, and you see the spread go to 0 during high volume, you're still paying 10%. I'm sorry, you're still paying, on a 5 pip stop, you're paying 10%, right? A 1 pip stop, you're paying 20%, I think. I don't know, but you're paying a lot, right? So if you have a 2 pip spread with a 5 pip stop, you're paying 60% or 40%. Commissions is the other hidden, but psychologically, I don't want to see I want commissions. I don't want to see the spread. I don't want to see it. I don't want to pay too much in the spread if I'm trading with a 5 pip, 10 pip stop. If you're trading with 1,000 pip stop, which somebody here is, there's a guy that can make money. He can make 2,000 pips with a 1,000 pip stop. Yes. But that means you can risk your whole account on 1K. So I mean, you're not going to survive that move. A 100 pip stop, $10. You know, you could do 10 trades with a 100 pip stop before you blow up the account. Now, can you make 25 pips with a 100 pip stop? What's the probability of that? It's a lot higher. To make 100 pips with a 20 pip stop, very low probability. You are on the sidelines. You are waiting for the premium setup. Are you going to pull the trigger at the market? Now I have to ask about execution. Are you going to wake up in the morning, or no nonsense entry is end of day, right around, I don't know, you wait for the spreads to tighten up, hopefully in Asia. Now this is also a lifestyle thing. Well, honey, we're watching a movie. What are you trading for? Okay, that's not going to be for you. Ain't going to work. No nonsense has a lot of, I suppose, married people. I don't know there's so many things that you can't do about what's going on. So you built an algorithm, which is you back tested it for, I don't care if you back tested it 1,000 fucking years. You can see what's going on politically. There's no fucking way. Now you can kind of predict what people do when they're scared. They do dumb shit stuff. So are these the market's never wrong? Well, that's right, because the market is just, but it is wrong for the guy that built optimized his algo. He curve fitted the fuck out of it like a dumb shit. I did a video earlier, so I don't know. It didn't go through. So if I repeat myself, then, sorry, but I try not to repeat myself. But I did have 5 1/4 floppies with $2,000 of coating on it. Well, that's what I paid. I had 2 of those. I spent $4,000 on modeling software that runs on a 286 with a floppy drive, and I back tested it until my wife lost her mind. From the dot matrix 24-pin printhead, which I put a baby fan on because it would overheat and shut down, Epson printer. With my $3,000, it was a $5,000 computer system, a 286. I had a Smartcom Hayes 2400 baud modem. It was full length card, cost fucking, I think the modem was $300. Then they came out with clones of that thing, 56Ks for $20. You're like, I don't think that's inflation, buddy. That's fucking... See, another thing that these, I suppose the kids don't understand is that innovation wipes out inflation. And it doesn't matter what the debt is. I don't want to break your heart. There's a guy that I subscribe to, Michael Norman, and he talks about the printing money. Yeah, it does, dude. You could print more money than Jesus. It doesn't matter. Did you see the lumber market crash like I predicted? Well, I pretty much went out there and said, you got to be fucking nuts to buy lumber. Like I see no nonsense talking about copper. Well, yeah, I like how people are late. The market spikes up and all of a sudden they're chasing it, But once again, it's by size. If you think Bitcoin's going to $1 million or even 100,000, dude, it's about ready to fucking fall in a vacuum all the way to 20. It's teetering on the edge, These are classic moves. I mean, you see that move like here. If you just took a slice, though, the psychology that goes into some of these giant moves on here, there's not enough history on Bitcoin. If you look at the monthly chart, you can't put any... unless you run a logarithmic scale, maybe I should do that. You're looking at people saying, I bought it at $3 and it went to 60,000. Yeah, but dude, you bought a $1,000 position. Great. Did you actually held that fucker until it got to 10? You held it for 10 years? I remember when it started because, like I said, has to do with Liberty Reserve was the original Bitcoin, in my opinion. Original paperless transfer. Peer-to-peer transfer. The peer-to-peer transfer, this is a problem. This is like Napster, peer-to-peer. Oh, you can't listen to that music. Metallica, pissing and moaning. Dude, write some shit I can listen to. I'm sorry, not a Metallica fan, apparently. And I'm a jazz guy, so to me, the market's jazz. This is also another, just, it's hardwired. I'm not going to be able to become, maybe convince me. Actually, okay, here's what happens. Some cute girl at the coffee shop starts to talk to me, and she listens to Metallica. I love Metallica then, but that's what's going to take to persuade me there. I won't be able to, I can't Metallica-ize myself. A lot of the stuff is pretentious gent, the gent techniques. I play guitar. I like to play gent though, so I like to play like a metal guy, but jazz key changes, please. Like don't bore me to death with just sitting on fucking one note, unless there's dancing girls. So the market fulfills these needs, I guess, and there is the total romance of we don't know where the market's going to go in the end. We don't know how it's going to get there. Let me go into this guy's view of it. So I like to, people say, why you criticize people? Well, because I'm going to criticize myself and say, why don't I do a better job trading? Why don't I do this? And, I don't think you're ever going, if you don't feel like you're, in the market, then I guess you're not being responsible. The responsible part of yourself is like, I should worry about this. This is money. And that's why people use robots, because they go, well, I'm not the robot. The robot has no emotion. Okay, but do you watch the robot trade and go, holy fuck, this is the dumbest robot I've ever built? I mean, how are you getting around the emotion? You're not. Okay, this is ridiculous. Let's listen to this guy. Hopefully I get this running the proper...
So thank you guys for...
Guys. Okay, so I'm already annoyed, right? But...
tuning in last week to episode 88.
88, it is what it is. You'll be hearing a lot of that. But, who am I to say, He's... This is the Forex market technical insights. So hopefully this is better than just technical.
Absolute pleasure. So episode...
Oh, it's a pleasure. See, I'm just not that polite. I'm an asshole. So I'm just not ever going to... Thanks for tuning in. I'm like, get the fuck out. Why are you watching me?
89. Market's been so slow.
Market's been so slow. Now, if you drop down to the 1 hour chart, you're fucking losing your mind with all the trades and auctions in there. And don't forget to subscribe.
Super.
Now, I'm just going to point out the fact that why this guy... My system works great on these wicks, and the wicks don't lie. Somebody asked me about the wicks don't lie. Okay, I went to wicks don't lie, and I can't do a video about them because they're not talking about any trades, and they're really just, it's like a live stream, and all these guys get in there and talk about the market, and then I guess people put up charts. What do you think of my chart? Like, this isn't trading. This isn't, you're trying to, avoid the pain of winning and losing. I got you. So you're trying to make it okay to trade, okay to win, okay to be in a drawdown, okay to blow up the account, okay to make a bunch of money very quickly, okay to lose a bunch of money very quickly. So the demo accounts, what I recommend is get 3 demo accounts and become a full-time demo trader. Or if you think you want to be a full-time trader, some people, full-time trader. Well, first demo full-time trade, which, what does that even mean? I think that people get the impression that a full-time trader babysit a 5-minute chart and pull the trigger. Now, you could be like that. But when you go to an Asian session, especially if you're in Trader's Way, at 5 p.m., you can't trade that market. You could trade the euro, maybe. The euro spread goes to 5. The dollar yen, which I'm trading dollar yen, goes to at 10, if not 15, at 5 p.m. And then it tightens up. Every 15 minutes, it gets a little tighter. So the 15-minute traders or 15-minute robots or 15-minute. So there are systems running that. But there's people too. And I don't know if it's purely, and I still don't get this one thing that ICT says. He says, well, there's an algorithm. What is he saying? Is that there's algorithms forcing the market to do what it's doing, or the market's algorithmic? I just don't even, these are bullshit buzzwords. Dude, are you long or short? Now, I know these words. These are buzzwords too, I suppose, to a fucking fundamentalist. I'm trying to get to the fundamental core shit. These people have so much fucking shit on top of it. They got cloud fucking trading. They're still not addressing the big fucking, people ask me all the time, what do you do when the market drops like a fucking butt whore through those limits? Well, you get stopped out. Now, I've gone the extra step of putting expirations on my fucking shit. So if I put a buy limit here, this wick, I'm going to start buying below that wick, right? This is the daily chart. If I put a 12-hour script in that buys here, and I've got I actually have the fucking brain power to see this wick. Wicks don't lie. I think what they're trying to say there, when I heard that, I thought, well, you mean the range doesn't lie. The range is the wick. That's all there is to it. How about ranges don't lie. Also, I'm just going to say that the breakout trader's enemy is the fake out. Is it a real breakout or is it a fake out? If you come in here with a strategy of, now this is all about execution. I put a buy stop here, a buy stop here, a buy stop here, a sell stop here, a sell stop here, a sell stop here, because it's forming a flag, and I know it's going to break out. I don't care which way it goes, because you don't have to, and you can't steal phrases from Mark Douglas like, well, you don't have to know where the market's going to make money. That's true in a sense, but if you put on this ridiculous tight stop entry, you don't have to know whether it's going to break out up or down. If you get whipsawed during this process, what good is that? So each trade plan I'm running, and they're all limits, and I only trade at the market if it's the opening or closing of sessions. Or it's like, okay, the news comes out and I'm like, okay, that is totally, I'm not in big enough. Okay, this is why I'm trading at the market. If my limits, I put the limit orders in, I'm thinking, good entry. Decent size, but I've got a little more, I can afford another 50K. I'll buy a little bit at the market. Maybe I'll only buy 10K at the market, but if I really want to maximize it, I'll wait 5 minutes between each trigger pull. Well, who's going to do that? Too much work. Can't you just give me an algorithm? Gives me a fucking premium goddamn Fibonacci entry. How about I get maybe a Gartley scanner? That's it. That's the trick. There's this video I really love about, this guy did about Forex. It's probably still out there. But, if it was that easy, right? Oh, I know what you do. Oh, I know how you build a house. You take a hammer, you just start swinging it. Yeah, that's it. That's the ticket. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Yeah, you just, you take this wood thing and you take this horsehair with this rosin and you just move it back and forth, and then you can play at Carnegie Hall. Yeah, that's it. Well, no, it's really difficult because you got to think about, you got 4 strings on the violin. Which ones are you going to hit? Which ones aren't you going to hit? Oh, no. I don't think I want to work that hard. How about I step back and build a robot that can play violin for me, and I'll send the robot to Carnegie Hall? Geez, I don't know if you'll be able to play off the audience, So the interaction, and there is no interaction. Unfortunately, with trading, we're sitting here pulling the trigger on shit that they don't even know you're pulling the trigger. Now, it may feel like that. Like, my broker must think I'm out of my fucking mind to trade them in. I think that, but I laugh too, and I think they must think, this motherfucker. And then they probably get pissed at me. They're like, this motherfucker's making money with all these goddamn limits. This motherfucker. Using the 1Ks, eh? Yeah, because I'm not trying to make $1 zillion and be some fucking high-profile fucknut that ends up going to jail because you bought what? You said what? We've been monitoring you because people with money are under attack now. Don't you understand the power of money? Anybody that and of course, I think what the Biden administration hired a bunch of IRS people. I mean, it used to be a going joke in the old days. So you can't get the fear high enough for people, really. Compliance out of fear. You know, some people just aren't going to play along. Al Qaeda and the Antifa don't seem to be playing along. And some BLM bitch is living in a fucking mansion because she's a con artist. You gotta love it. Ain't America great? No, it's systemically racist. In your fucking dreams it is. Oh, poor Oprah Winfrey and Michael Jordan, that fucking racist Michael Jordan. Oh, God. Now, here's a guy that had the fucking brains to never even fucking say anything about anything. They'd ask him, what do you think about Nike killing the Jews? He's like, I heard the Jews and I heard those Al Qaeda guys are playing basketball, so I'm good with that. Hey, as long as they wear my shoes while they're killing somebody. Let's not get political. Boy, that pandemic, it's coming back. Alpha. There's an alpha strain out there. It's supposed to take the Delta out hard. Cut it off at the knees. Just need courage. See, how about the Wizard of Oz trading method? You need courage. All right, let me go back to this guy. Sorry, I got sidetracked. You know, tangential thinking is my fine-tuned, optimized algorithm. I employ it every day. Deal with these fucknuts.
Slow week last week.
Week.
Very, very evident here on the daily time frame. In this episode, maybe a bit short and sweet because of the current market conditions, but...
So the current market conditions, and somebody asked me, what conditions would you launch some of these scripts? And I'm going to go through that, actually. I'm going to run the robot. I'm going to pick out the scripts. I'm going to show you what I do. It's not for everybody, and it's not for anybody. It's really very dual purpose in that sense.
It is what it is. You guys see...
Oh, it is what it is. It is what it is, Forex. Can I help you? Yes, your call is very important to escalate that. Our team, I'll reach out to my team and see if they can help with your blown up account.
What I see, and I see what I see in the markets.
I see what I see. Do you see what I see? Well, do you think I do?
Today we've got the dollar, we've got the Euro USD, GB Pound USD, GB Pound Japan Yen.
GB Pound. I didn't understand what he's saying first. Now I get it. This is my second time through this section.
And CAD Japan Yen.
CAD Japan Yen. CAD Japan Yen. I thought this was a new cross spread. I didn't hear, but what's the spread on that fucker? Never heard of it.
5 markets, $2 base, and then we've got the 2 CAD Yen pairs. So
CAD Yen. People love that CAD. Now, I just want to warn anybody that trades CAD, and we could look at a CAD chart. That's a great. It's like the Euro verse. I'm just say that what I think here in fundamental view of the structures of the situations, the CAD, the CAD to the dollar is like the Euro to the pound, in my opinion, because they're so neighborly. It's literally an exchange market. If you look at the Euro to the pound, you have to fight to see a trend there. I mean, it's so choppy. But I guess at any point in the markets get noisy and choppy, so that's a little bit of a... You better fact check me on that, because that is also not true in a sense, right? All markets go through these phases where they're very static, very choppy. When they go on a big run, you know, it is true that algorithms that trade trends would latch on to a big move. But, you know, the market is so bombastic and it goes into runs that are unbelievable. And most of the time, it's just chopping around. But when it goes for a run, it can be just the most pounding, especially if it's pent-up demand that goes back months. If it's a void that's filling, that is years old, once it starts to cut into that, Katie bar the door. So if you look at a monthly chart, and that's an old school reference for like, get your wife to fucking get the AR-15s or whatever. How about some landmines? And just pepper them around your yard, because they come in to give you a vaccine, but coming to check on you. We're doing. I think Biden just said, what is it called? Welfare checks for everybody, and that's not the handout checks. That way they check on you. When I heard about a welfare check, I thought, well, that's a check that you're right. No, apparently they stopped by to see how you're doing. I'm doing fine, thank you very much. I'm in a trade. Could you get the fuck out of the room? I'm underwater on this trade, please. You're crushing my zen. I'm trading at the market a lot, actually, on exit. So what I do is let the pendings get in, and this is I'm trading backwards. So I'm saying if the market crushes down, and I see that the dead cat bounce and it's going to crush lower, I'm just going to get out if I'm there to see it. And what I'm going to do then is get in denser orders, because I've just made money. Now I'm going to come in and risk slightly more money, and I have a lot of trade plans I can implement, and it's all about tactics. If they go, if the market goes up, I can buy with shallow limits. If I think we're in an uptrend, so to speak, we're making a run. But to stand in front of it on the sell side, my limits are going to have to be very deep if the market's moving very fast. So the faster the market's moving, the deeper your tickets need to be. And the quieter the market is, the shallower they need to be if you're trying to get filled on limits. This is the difficult part is it moving fast? Well, you should be able to tell. Last 4 hours, if it moved 80 pips in 4 hours. It could probably move another 40 pips. I'm just going to say in classic death of momentum. And I'm going to estimate, let me throw my tickets about 40 pips deep now. All the estimations I'm doing, I drag and drop all the scripts. I'm trading primarily with hand placed drop orders in front of the in the zone, I think, or the price level I think is going to be tagged and bagged and reversed. Also, I've interwoven scalps in there with bad ratios. It's counterintuitive to put I have a 20 pips stop to make 10 pips. Is a classic bad ratio, good placement scalp window. The scalp window is the wick, or anything below the body. So bodies don't lie, wicks don't lie. Well, the body has a purpose. Now, I'm speaking of limit entry here. So if I go to the mindset of a breakout trader, you can see that. But what if when you get a doji, instead of trading breakouts, you start to trade with really good ratios in a direction you perceive to be the next price pulse. So typically, but it's not always, if the market goes up and pauses, you want to buy the pause. You want to buy the pullback. Now that might be the tippy top of the market, and that sideways action just keeps on dripping down and taking you out. It's only the size of the position that's going to cause any pain there. So if you get into something that's like, this is not so great. Yeah, it's okay to get out of a trade. So you don't have to be a buy and hold. You don't have to plan your trade your plan. And when they say plan your trade your plan, they're speaking in singularities. I think that if you have multiple options to trade tactically in all sorts of ways, right? So in a true war, you've got your Sherman tank, your Tiger tank, you're all the way down to a fucking small firearm, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't have to break out this Sherman tank. What's the fucking fuel? What's the mileage on that bitch? Are you going to drive that around? It's very rare. Now we've seen the attack of these tanks when Corona came. If you can't handle a market that's moved 300 pips, if you can't trade with a 300 pip stop to capture that move in the smallest way, then it's outside of your realm of trading. It's off limits because the volatility is too high. But the volatility is how you make money. So you're always in this fork in the road. Well, but if it did, yeah, but see, everything, it's a double-edged sword, right? And not to mention, just because you're buying, it's like, and this is a daily chart here on this guy. So this is also a time frame for this guy. I don't think he even sees what he couldn't see it in a million years. Apparently, well, maybe he won't live that long, but I see these dojis here and I think, wow, look at this now. So this pounding up move. Let's just take a look at the crudest example. If we go up really hard, and I throw sell limits up, and maybe I'm selling into this void here. But where's the tippy top turnaround? And this is not a Williams fractal because we don't have that extra wick here. But this is a heavy supply zone. I don't call that an order block. I think the doji is what the order block is. This is the order block right here for whatever reason. In other words, if you have a sell limit here at the order block and it comes up here, but what I'm seeing is that it comes up here and it tags this window, takes out that wick, and it traps anybody. So the losing trader puts a buy stop here. But I've said in the other video, how is he a loser if he has protection here? Puts a buy stop here for confirmation. He gets filled. He's like, look at that. Oh, honey, look at that. He takes a 2-day drawdown. He shits his pants. But not really. He's in a 1K. He's got a stop down here. He's risking $100. He's risking $50 on this ticker. He's risking the whole account. And he's like, yeah, you know what? My moving average turned around. So I don't know what you're talking about. Well, I'm talking about your risk to reward ratio. Even though you did, if you let them stop you out, which you get in here, you can't only get to your chart once a week. I'm sure this is a breakout of the weekly or something. And then it goes to here. Now, what we have to suppose you went to here. So what did you risk this much to make that much? But what if you said, no, I kind of want to just I'll buy this low. I'll buy this low. Anything below there, so the market drops, they fill you. And in this trade, you actually made money if you could survive that. But what if you just trail a grid of buy limits down here? See, I would say, and for me, the ultimate entries on here would be, and of course, this is always going to be pip dependent, not really money dependent. Like, look at this one. You got this Williams fractal here for sure. They pop it up above there. You got sell limits in a trap here. Now, what's this risk to reward ratio? Risk this much, presupposing you held for 3 fucking days, all the way into the trap of the bear trap down here where people start to short here. You risk this much to make this much. And when I saw the auction guy talk about this, I was like, wow, that tells me a lot. If I put a sell limit here above the tippy top, I'm almost guarantee you this guy did not take this easy fucking trade. What I know this guy didn't do for certain is take these obvious low risk structural entries. There's no way he did it. Maybe he did, but if he said it, he'd say, well, all we did here is we got in here, see? Actually, we sold this tippy top area here. See, supply zone here, carry that forward. We sold here, we made this, we made that. Now, if you put buy limits here, it'll be a long time to get filled, but I guarantee fucking tell you, if we come back to here, there's buyers all down in here. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing sellers up here. I would have sold that into the close on a 1K, and right now, the pace that this guy's trading at, he barely trades this fucking thing, I bet. Why not just pepper this whole fucker with 1 week expirations? You put a 1 month expiration on your tickets. Talk about disciplined trading. I got a month. I got patience. I got sell limits up here for a fucking month. I got buy limits down here all day long. Oh, tagged and bagged. Oh, tagged and bagged. This is trading heaven for me. This kind of wick shit. Now, if you go more aggressive, put your tickets below the body. Now you're really going to experience a little drawdown, but you're going to make way more money. You're going to get more tickets. Put your buy limit below the body. Below the body. You don't see, you didn't get the fill here, but you got it there, and you made this before that. I don't know if you can see it. I can't really zoom in, but you made this before that. Below the body entry, filled. Wick, no fill. So you can't, there's a whole window here. The wick window, placing your buy limits in here, much better, right? More risk, more reward. If you buy, so the closing prices, right? That is the climax momentum. This is a momentum move because at the end of the day, it's up. If I put my sell limits here, I'm getting filled on the wick. So if you put your sell limits above the body, sell limit here too conservative. Here you get filled, see? The wicks are the fill. The wicks don't lie is this. I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. So where's the truth of the wicks? What is, does he have a video that explains that phrase? It's just buzzword shit. So if I put my sell limits above the body, see how the closing price is? The wicks are wicking in. And this is also probably a false sell from RSI. I can already see them overbought, lower price, but then rips the other way. The aggressive traders are going to buy anything below the body here. Here you got filled on the wicks. This one, all your buy limits start here. You get filled. If you have buy limits here, no fill. You don't experience this fucking insanity. And not to mention this daily chart, you could just trade the wick. You could have sell limits here, got in here, scalp the wick, and not even be around for this sell-off. But eventually, so if you have another account, maybe you want to isolate your scalping from your swing trading, and you have a swing trading account that gets filled here, and lo and behold, so, like Biden said, son of a bitch, you're up in 3 months, you're up, or 2 months here, whatever it is. You're up there and you're back trimming the trees on these wicks, on these supply zones, and then it comes ripping all the way back. The order flow, that's order flow to me, that's price action. Price action is price, another bullshit buzzword is price action trading. Okay, so you could also say price movement trading. What is the fucking difference? Action is movement. These are bullshit buzzwords that go around and people make courses out. Can I do that price action? What's momentum trading? So we're going to go through that. I'm going to take you to the real fucking McCoy, which is the playback of the market without the spread fluctuating. So imagine a fixed pick broker like maybe 2 or 3 pips fixed. You're a swing trader, dude. If you got a 30 pip stop and you got 30 pip stop and you got a 3 pip spread, you're paying 10%. Shipping and handling per trade. So obviously the tighter the spread, the more better. But I pay 10%. If you're going to ship me coffee cups that I'm going to mark up fucking 5 times because they have good ratios, what do I give a fuck about shipping and handling? You don't give a fuck if you have a 10 pip stop. Okay, it matters. 30%? 3 pip stop? Think 10 pip stop. Take a 10 pip stop and think what it's going to cost you for that trade. You have a spread that can go to FX Trader's Way. What is Trader's Way giving you for a spread on close? I haven't looked at it, but the pound, I saw the pound go to 30 pips on close, I think. You're got a day trader there. You cannot fucking, unless you have a 100 pip stop. And that only, okay, so they're not going to stop you out of that trade, but you're going to watch your equity go way down. by about 20% drawdown just to survive 5 p.m. on a floating ECN broker. So somebody that gets into some of these accounts and they go, oh, Jesus, that's why you see people giving bad reviews. People don't understand what's going on. 5 p.m. is the close of the market. The auction's over. We have to wait for things to do the tighten up, especially the holidays too. You see amazing moves. But once again, coming back to this idea that you built an algorithm and, oh, you know what, waiting for the indicators to catch up mindset. Okay, apparently you've worked the lag into it, like, kick drum pedal. I bought this high-end kick drum pedal and I go, still doesn't get me around the idea that I got to hit it before the beat. I've got to hit the pedal before the beat because by the time the mallet hits the fucking, right? But then you start to sync that in a muscle memory thing that you have to be ahead of the beat on the kick because the fucking lag time of the goddamn pedal to hit the mallet to the goddamn kick head, right? It's not a buy, click and buy. Now, maybe they'll come out with a digital pedal one day. But if you learn on that, then you go to the fucking swing pedal and you're like, right. That's not so good. So the lag factor, waiting for your kick pedal to catch up. Here we're gonna go to the back to this guy now. I'm sure he means well and all that, and of course it's he just sees what he sees, and it is what it is.
Let's dive into it. Let's go see what we've had happen this week. So, first of all, I'm starting on the blank charts. Okay.
I feel like he's one step from needing a drool cup. Like there's something about his lower lip. He's just going to need a drool bib.
Here with the dollar, very, very, very slow last week. We can see that we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
So this is a dollar index. And I still don't get why, unless you're trading a dollar index, I don't get this. I don't get why people pay attention to this.
Okay. So we started down here and we closed up here. We're pretty much in the same region as what we saw the previous week because we had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wrong.
You seem to be able to pronounce those words okay.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Friday.
Right. And he
needs bigger glasses. And his nose, is that one of those things where the nose and the glasses are connected? Is he really? Is this really?
Just still in that zone. We've just not got out with there in the dollar. And now what does that do? Well, Euro USD, it leads into pretty much the same situation. GB pound USD, similar situation. Price in that zone. And that's what happens when we see these things happen in the market. And it is what it is. The most important thing you do.
I just got to back up that.
In that zone.
I don't do my charts like this, but I'm just going to say that if you were trading the pound here, let me just point out the winning trades. Of course, the pound's very widespread and very chaotic market. Buying below the body, you're going to get filled deeper. Buying below the wick, you definitely got filled. Here's another instance where if you put your buy limits just below the body, you got filled on the wicks here. Buy limit here, no fill. That's a daily chart. Now here, if you sell aggressively above the body, you're overfilled, right? But if you also sell above the wick, this is a different trade because here, every trade's going to be different for me because I'm going to put in sell limits here, sell, sell, sell. If I was doing just pure daily, I never looked at the 4 hour, but I'm not. But I'm saying if I was going to do this, and I got sell limits here that never get filled. If you commit to this zone of selling, this trade's a winner by this point, and there's another really low risk, just nick the wick entry here, also to sell more here. And I'm just talking about buying and selling. I'm not talking about holding this for some kind of big-ass target move. That's the other thing is that people have on their, they look on the horizon there. Look at this little nick the wick here. Sell. And of course the aggressive seller is selling above the body here. Above the body here. Nice down move. We're waiting for it to crush into the vacuum here. And start cashing out. But then once again, perversely enough, buying below the wick. Buying below the wick coming in the next week. Buying below the wick. Buying all the way down. Right? Just having a big pack of buy limits down here. So that's obvious that you're going to want to buy down here and scalp to this floor for the obvious move. Same thing here. You buy below the body. You're taking on more positions. If you're scaling in on grids, I'm scaling in. Every entry price should be different, and every stop should be different, and every exit should be different. So it looks like this in the end. You come in here and you just love bomb this thing. I don't know, love bomb, cluster bomb. Buy that pullback. It's down. It's oversold. Don't forget it's down. Now do you want to sell? It's a daily chart. Come all the way back to here. I'm going to get kicked out of some of these trades, but what a trade, huh? And am I really going to hold that for... When it slams to here, I'm probably going to cash out of everything I have if I have a really big position, which I would. Because I'm not trading, I can't trade the dailies like for this big long run here, you know. Because if I bought below here, I guarantee you, if we slam up in one day, and actually I bought below here, don't forget about below those wicks is the premium entry. I'm dumping the whole thing here because I know that if I want to get in a long trend again, all I got to do is run trailing buy limits below the body and below the wick. Now here's the lowest risk entry for the big kahuna. It's breaking this triangle here, this inner world here of getting into positions. Sure, I'm sure there's a guy, and this is the argument, for a stop entry. Okay, I see a triangle. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to put a buy stop here. In fact, I'm going to put a buy stop here. Fuck them. This is resistance. If they take that out, they're going to go up, and sure enough, you're fucking right. But where was your stop for that entry again? It should be, technically speaking, here. If you put a buy stop here for entry, you got protection here. Buy stop, protection. Now, buy stop, protection here at the apex of the breakout of that one wick. But I've already made money during the formation of the triangle. I want to make money in the flag. I want to make money in the 1 month distribution up here. Bing, bang, bong, bing, bong, bing. Dude, I'm making money. Now, I know you got a fucking signal from your signal service to sell right here on this day. And look, ooh, it's like ICT. Ooh, look at this move. All right. I just made more money. And you got on how big on that trade? I just made more money trading small, bing, bang, bonging here. Same thing here. All this bullshit. I'm making money doing this bullshit. This guy, he don't have a trade. He got no trade. It's all right. He doesn't have to. It is what it is.
And that's what happens when we see these things happen in the market. And it is what it is. The most important...
That's what happens when you see things happen. I'm going to use the definition to define the definition. What's that recent thing some dumb shit said about, oh yeah, well, we'll see critical race theories about critical race theories.
One thing you do is be patient and abide by your trading strategy.
Well, I am, damn it, but I'm not patient, so that's not going to work for me.
Right, because when the market's in those ranging areas, that's the time people give those profits back.
Well, that's the time I make money. Isn't that funny? So this is the idea that you're looking for that big move, see?
That's the time that people force those trades, right?
So forcing a trade, to me, that means overtrading, oversizing. Yeah, that's true. You have to be a scalper. If you're going to get into a slow market, quiet market, noisy market, If you don't mind that there's a guy he's on the Discord, I think he's still there. He's trading nano shit manually. Literally with no scripts. You know, people are like beating up on him. Dude. No. I mean, if that's what you feel comfortable, some people, they do want to be snipers with a fucking crack pipe and a 5-pip stop. But, you know, it's a lifestyle situation.
And that's the time people trapped in trades.
But if you get into a trade based on your perfect algorithm you wrote, you're still trapped in that trade. You're in that trade. You're trapped and you can get out. But I think what he means by trapped in the trade is that you're underwater and you go into the session with a losing position. Oh, okay.
And then they jump in another trade, trying to make some money. And for me...
Yeah, jumping in a trade. Now, we can't just pull the trigger randomly without a chart with good ratios to make money. That's true. I think that's really true. But we really have to we have to be able to see the landscape of the market. You know, you just can't, like, you can't just go out and hunt for deer by shooting into the forest and hoping you hit a deer. You know, you're just going to run out of bullets. So we have to look at the rubs on the tree to see where these deer are at. We have to see if there's any, tracks in the snow. Now, so when it's snowing out, to me, this market, it's always snow. You know, the background screen. We can see where the deer is gone. We can see where the things run to. Will it run back and retest? Is it going to revisit? Can we plan for that? It could retest. It could go higher. So you can put a lot of possibility. Also, thinking in probabilities. I think the guy mentioned Mark Douglas. Yeah. If you're thinking in probabilities, you're not thinking in certainties, are you now? But algorithms are designed to be certain because that's why I optimize it. And that's why I backtest it. It can be more and more certain. Dude, that is a fucking dead end. That ain't going to work. You can't do that. You have to... The fact that the market is random, it is chaotic, is the edge. So I design my system to accommodate the chaos and make the wick my friend. It's not stopping me out, it's limiting me in. So I guess I'm going against at least a stop entry method there, even though I could prove that works. So we can cherry pick entries. We could cherry pick strategies. This strategy would work in this situation. And when do you ever get this pattern to show up in your favor? We get this, I'm going to say that as a severe doji, and we're also getting a triangle on the wicks, major, and then boom. Wow. So maybe you put a buy stop here, like a true goober, you were up on that trade and then you were down. But you didn't take out your stop. And you held with it, you're still up in the trade. See, and that's what they're doing at No Nonsense. They're saying, well, dude, I'm going to get confirmation entry. Get in here, see? Got to stop down there and fuck you, I'm up on that trade. And thank God for No Nonsense. He saved me from getting whipsawed here. Yeah, because this is not something that would occur to people, that these are all trades. That's a daily chart. I think I got the time to get to this chart, right? And this is low volatility. This is high volatility. So I would say trend, no trend. Trend, no trend, no trend, no trend. Trend, no trend. So 80% of the time, and some people are going to include this. This guy's like, it's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It's gone somewhere, and now you can start to see so filled that void, mission accomplished. Is it going to fill that void? It doesn't have to. There's plenty of void above us. It looks like the dollar is going to rip. So I said this is Dow Jones. Oh wait, is it Dow Jones versus Dow Jones version of the dollar index? Thought it was a fucking cross rate. I don't know what I'm looking at here. Anyways, but Dow Jones dollar index is. I don't know where this number. I'm looking at the number on the right side of the screen, but I'm just talking about the markets. I don't know what I'm looking at now. That's the Dow Jones. Maybe because where he's at. I don't know. I'm lost. Okay, this could be an old. No, this is a recent video. Let's see. I think you're supposed to say at this point, my bad. My bad. Jesus, fuck me. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Get to a chart I understand, please.
I think it's best
I don't trade Dow Jones versus the dollar index.
On the sidelines and be patient until the market
patient. Well, Sean Connery here.
Aligns with my rules and aligns with my
Every girl needs a good slap every now and then.
Trading. So what we've seen happen, price still at that high.
Just to keep her on her toes.
And we've still got
barefoot in the kitchen, please.
Daily higher low here. We're still trading in this region. Now, what we must remember here is the bigger time frame. Okay, longer term.
Oh, okay.
Term bearish. Short term bullish at the
bullish, bearish. I like those terms. Gives me directional. Are you a directional trader? Fuck yeah.
Moment.
Well, look like a fucking idiot. It is what it is.
We've seen price take impulse up, and then we are seeing price slowly show this ascending corrective move. Now, we're seeing this ascending corrective move. Does that mean we can't see another leg to the upside? Most definitely not, of course.
Most definitely not. Well, go along, you pussy. Jesus fucking Christ.
Of course we can.
Of course we can. It is what it is.
Or we could break out of here and end up pushing back to the downside.
Push.
So, daily time frame, impulse up, ascending correction.
Yeah, you're going to need a drill cup, buddy.
Let's drop us into the 4H then. So now
4H. 4H. Oh, man, this is a gold mine. Look at this. Now, this is easy pickings for my system. Holy shit. I love these charts because I never make charts like this, so it's easy to see very clearly the entries here. Wow, what a gold mine. Now, this is going to take a little bit of thinking. Let's start off over here. Like I see this, I'm already thinking, I'm licking my chops. I'm like, oh, would I have sold up into this? No, I would have to look left on that. If I sell every 4 hours, this goes up in the market. Sell at the market with a wide stop. Sell at the market with a slightly tighter stop. Sell at the market. I will do that every 4 hours. That's how I trade it. So I'm short, and then I'm going to, like I said, if I have a limit grid in here, and I see I'm not getting filled enough, I will sell there. Now I make it all the way back to my entry point, or the breakout trader's entry point. If I sell here, this is a winning trade by here. Right? Wait a second. So I sell at the market because it's screaming up, and I start to put sell limits in here too. And I'm also selling at the market a little bit, not too much. To me, the most gratifying trade is to have sell limits up here, and I got scalps interwoven in there. So different entries, different exits. I scalp to here, say, and if I was going to hold this, and also I see this vacuum about to get crushed, so I could hold that. And you could probably even add something here on the 1 hour. And if you go to the 1 hour, you might see a bullish candle. So just sell every bullish candle on the 1 hour. As you figure we're going to come back to this, and the buyers are supposed to come in here, because if tops become bottoms and breakouts become the next place to get in, and I'm speaking in a singular trade mode here, which is a big mistake of the first-time traders, is to say, okay, this is the breakout point. I'm going to buy and a retest the breakout. We come back in, it's supposed to retest that, but it overshoots the runway, and holy fuck. So if I see the 4 hour down hard and I buy the 4 hour, what I'm seeing is that this subtle little vacuum block, we'll call them vacuum blocks, comes back, fills that, and sure, buy this too, buy the whole thing. But then after it goes up for 12 hours and rocketing back into the floor of the so-called doji, never makes it to that doji block. That's good money for me. And then once again, in a most perverse thing, it goes the other way. It's almost like the market's going up and down. I think they call this price action. Did I mention that price action? What's that price action? I heard about the price action trading. Yeah, it's the market that's moving. Hello. So if I sell the tops of the wicks, so it's rocketing up, it invades this vacuum, right? So it fills that up, and then we sell here, and we sell. It's really up. I sell at the market with my wide stop to make X. So if I sell here with a stop here, I'm looking to make this much, and I made it and then some. And we start to come into the buyer's window. So if I'm not even on the short train, there's always a trade for me. I'm going to buy limits here. Heavy buy limits there. This wick matters. Big buy limits here. And the biggest buy limit is here. Wow. Then we have buy limits here and aggressively below the bodies. So when it comes back into this thing, if it doesn't fill this, now, if you're too conservative and you have buy limits here going, yeah, man, if it comes to here, now people quote in the, so if you're streaming or something, or you see people comment, they'll say, yeah, the entry's this one price. But it's, to me, it's a area. I'm trading zones and areas. And maybe you think that's a buzzword, but no, I can define that because I can say, I'll buy below here. And if I scalp to here, I just made that whole wick. So if I'm making money from just the wick entry, so I just make that wick money, it pops above here, it wicks in, sure, it comes all the way back to here, but I can actually cash out to here, let the rest go. Never goes for a full engulfment in the other direction. But this is a gold mine to me, looking at this chart. And I mean, if you are a buyer, from the crudest sense, let's just say you do have a moving average on this thing, and your moving average is like this, and you've been bullish on this thing the whole fucking time. Why wouldn't you just buy below here, even here, 4 hour buy? A scalp though, there's not enough there to fuck, right? What is your target? You buy below here like you can't believe. You even buy this, and you're going to say, yeah, I was up trying to make that. And if you think tops become bottoms, so this is the, on closing prices, top become a bottom, top becomes a bottom, it buy stops, guys go long, comes back, overshoots that. See how deep it invades? There is no, but typically it invades, it starts to, okay, in my opinion, the market can't see this. Nobody gives a fuck about that as a pivot anymore. It's been erased. The market destroys. There was a guy called, look him up, he's called So Darn Easy Forex, and he got all pissy about, like, you can't copy my stuff, you can't look at my shit. He makes more fucking money sitting. He's a dumb brother. He don't get it. He puts fucking lines on it. He goes back 3 months, you go, see this key level? That key level don't mean a shit, dude. It's been washed out. That key level taken forward it ain't a pivot, dude. It has nothing to do with the price of tea in Dickland. There's nothing there, man. I'm sorry. It doesn't make sense. It's like wearing a fucking mask. You're just making shit worse. You got that shit fucking, you're walking around with a humidor of fucking cluster fucks, probably designing new shit. You got a gain of function going on under your fucking mask, you dumb shit. Stop with that. I still see people what the fuck, they're going to re-lock down LA? Are you people out of your fucking moron mind? I just, dude, I'm too old. I can't even believe we're here on that shit. But hey, we see worse in the Forex market, don't we? We see worse with people selling courses on MACD. And I'm gonna run that shit. We'll look at that MACD, right? That's where I got started, man. I had MACD, dude. I tell you, dude, I spent a lot of fucking money. I'm gonna tell you right now, I spent 30 grand easy on trading education. Going back. 1990. So I stopped educating myself about about 12 years ago, I think. No, I'm still like, okay, I'm still hunting. I'm on YouTube, I suppose. But as far as paying for materials and books, the last trading book I bought, I went to, they used to have this thing called the bookstore. So that was also the other avenue. I know people going on YouTube now, but there's a vision of, I also know somebody that said to me, I want to be one of those guys that wears a suit and shows up and just makes money. There's a vision of what a Forex trader is. I suppose in the prop house, like I said before, if I could get a all-girl prop house going and no transgender fucks, nobody's a fake girl. Okay, this is another thing. I don't think I could do it now. And these fucking people that don't understand biology would, or the non-science, the flat earthers would blow that trading house up that I have an all-girl trading house. Prop house for hot chicks only. And we're going to do a fucking DNA test to see if you're really a fucking chick. No dick Forex. Prop house. Even if you've got a stub left from your edit, you ain't allowed, bitch. Don't bring that shit in here. Don't bring your fake fucking hormone-induced fakeness.
Now we're back in my charts here on the 4H of
4H,
the dollar.
Oh, I just saw a little sweet entry here. Of course, I'm also presupposing that there's no spread. Let me just put a disclaimer in. If you put a buy limit here and the spread's wide, no fill-o. That's why you want to get in aggressive. You want to put your buy limits below the body, because if you put a buy limit right here on the wick, you may not get filled if the spread's too wide. All you see here is bid prices. There's no ask here. We can't see what these things cost. We only see what they sell for. So from the sell side, I can tell you for fucking certain, if you put a sell limit here, you got filled. Sell limit here, no fill. No fill, no fill. So sell limit here, filled, right? Sell limits all the way up, I know, yeah, precisely. We also don't know. When you pull the trigger to get out, you're getting out on the ass. So there was this guy that was so ramped up about trading, and he said, you make more money if you sell than buy. I go, how's that work? He goes, we'll see if you sell up here. See, you're getting filled, you see. Yeah, because when you buy the ask, you don't see, if he didn't have his ask turned on apparently. So most MetaTrader platforms, the default when you load a demo is no ask and no rectangles in your analysis. You have to turn on the rectangles to draw the areas. I do. And there's no ask price listed, and they got the stupid grid on, and they don't have the period separator. So I know the default loading for MT4 platform, the only thing that changes per broker is the colors that they use to indicate which currencies they think are cross rates and which ones they think are prime, and their gold, and how they do the indexes. They'll change the colors of that. And if you fuck around with the colors in Windows to try to customize it, it'll fuck that up, because then you won't. That's hard coded. So MetaTrader is really trying to trade on like Windows XP, you know. And the new Windows is such a piece of shit. You can't even fuck with the colors. You can't believe it. Dude, I spent like fucking 20 hours once trying to fuck with the colors in Windows. Ain't gonna happen. That's with editing the registry. You know, you have to actually find out the color codes and edit you have to pull up regedit and go into the core, because they've dumbed it down so that I think when they tabletized it, Windows 8 ran on a tablet, and they were trying to get into it's so funny when people try to fucking do that, and the legacy shit don't fit, and don't get me started. Same thing's true in wheelchairs. My buddy's got a wheelchair now, so he's got a fucking $30,000 wheelchair, and the people that work at the wheelchair thing don't want to learn the new software, so he had to fucking go all the way and get a new joystick. It was fucking drama. So it's systemic. Systemic laziness is a fucking real thing. Systemic welfare. Well, your checks are in the mail. Now sit at home, watch us scare the shit out of you. I hope they don't edit my video, because my percentage of political talk to technical talk hasn't triggered the robot threshold yet.
We've seen price take the move down. Remember, daily higher low here, by the way, and this is daily
By the way, just in case you're asking.
higher high. Everything in the moment here, everything in the middle here is trading as
Everything in the middle. Everything in the middle. I need to give this guy a dialectic fucking lesson. Proper articulation.
substructures. So what we can
Substructures. He just triggered me. I want to hear about, dude. I think he found it. I haven't seen this part of the video yet, so he's onto something.
see happen here is price comes to the downside, possible higher low, fails, creates a substructure potential lower high, and we therefore see that price just continues to range in this region, forming higher lows but failing to form higher highs. What can we do? Well, we need to allow price to dictate, and that's just where I am.
How does this guy make money? I mean, so he just described the market went up and it went down, and what can we do? Nothing. Dude, you missed all the fucking trades, you goober.
And that's why the markets are the way they are, and that's the current situation of the market.
It is what it is. That's why they are what they are. And you see what you see, and I see what I see. And I got nothing to say about that. Let's sign up. Subscribe.
Markets. Yes, in the week we can dive deeper into the 1H and really understand.
Oh God. Now look at this is my terrain here. Now give me a nice a snug spread and a good size, and I can see my trades right in here all day long. And this I would trade. And this is typically like, so we see we're stopping people, or we're making new lows, right? If you get in at the body, oh yeah, I like this trade. 4 hours up into the sell window, cash out. Now, even the breakout traders can make money here because they could put a nice breakout system in. See? What does this mean? You're either babysitting this shit, you're getting in here in a sell. Low range. Breaks out. Those are good trades. Not a lot of pips. Comes smashing down into structure. Yeah, that structure matters now, but this price ain't going to mean shit forward. Not going to mean shit. He's just talking about it went up here, it went down there. You didn't trade that shit? You didn't put buy limits in here to capture it? Like, what? You can see my scalp to the floor technique. I'm getting in here, below this. Bang, bang, bang. Comes back to here, everybody cashes out. Sellers come in. Another beautiful entry. Also, what he's missing is we can't see the end of the day here. No reference of time. Big mistake. He's on some trading view shit or something. What the fuck is he on? Is this trading view? Oh, I hate trading view. You can't trade on it. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's Ninja. Oh, those the guys doing the audit? Yeah. Ninja guys are down there. Yeah. That should work out. I understand they charted the belts coming in the middle of the night, and they're using the Ninja software to, I think the Chinese are using that to rig it. What's wrong with this guy? Right now, buy limits in here. Thank you very much. Sell limits above. See what happens. And then I'll get out the market. I'll determine. That's the whole fun of it. You got sell limits up here, buy limits down there. You wake up in the morning and look at that. I'm up. You just cash them out. You're free money. I mean, it's money that you didn't have to, not free, but you didn't have to babysit to pull the trigger and go through all the agony of like, oh, do I have my indicator set up yet?
And price flowing, where price wants to go, because price gives us a heads up on where it wants to go. For example, this turnaround down here, we saw this turnaround down here create a impulse down, descending corrective move, created liquidity. We saw the liquidity taken out. We then saw the drive up. Okay,
you saw that, but you didn't trade it. Gee, how did I know this guy just wouldn't be able to see that as a trading opportunity? The fact that at least he identified this liquidity, and this is something ICT can apparently do too, but you never see him put a trade on there. Takes out the liquidity on that wick, and then zoomity, zoom, zoom, zoom. Takes out the liquidity here, and then zoomity, zoom, 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 and it's almost like it's ranging. That's what we call price action, son. I'm telling you, price action is the way to go.
We can see that form. We can see that form on the lower time frames, but that only enables us to see a move from here into here.
He can't see. He does have no imagination. So maybe this is the problem. My imagination's too big. I imagine all sorts of shit. In fact, I probably just could survive on fantasy living in my head, imagining shit that you do when you're solitary confinement. Hallucinations from being awake too long and not dreaming. So we need to dream, and if we don't sleep, we're just going to daydream and just fucking, drive off the road. This hindsight shit is just killing me. Also, I just noticed here, it just occurred to me how this is the floor. So if you bought everything from now down, bye, you cash out. You're out. I'm out. Wait for the next setup. Okay. Hell, let's even do this. Sell, martingale in. Rips back in 1 hour. I just made X. That's my trade. That's how I'm doing it. Now, do I get stopped out? Yes. Do I get limited in? Yes. So, time of day matters, You see the market drift into Dow Jones open. But that we can go into, we would need to have a multiple time frame chart. So not just the end of the day, but we'd see what is the bar that U.S. markets open. News comes out. When the news comes out, you're going to see psychosis, right? And you can almost tell where there's news on the chart because you'll see a giant wicks, and at the end of the day, the market hasn't really gone anywhere, or just giant wicks, and then it moves. So giant wicks in the 1 hour is different than giant wicks in the 4 hour. That's a different trade.
This doesn't allow us to see bigger pictures, further moves.
It sure. I see it. I see the big picture. Dude, I can see the void above us, the void below us. And he's so focused on this Dow. I wish he'd get to a currency that I'm actually trading, but here, let him go.
Because we're in that ranging area at the moment. Now, because we're in that ranging area, it leads us to be patient. It leads us to understand the overall market direction, which is...
This is so stupid. It leads us to be patient. I mean, does this guy work for Jen Psaki?
Still bullish.
This guy's married to Jen Psaki.
To the upside.
It's not censorship. We're just banning you from any kind of commentary.
And as we go into next week, guys, for me, this is my standpoint of the dollar. This is the dollar at the moment. The dollar.
And your standpoint is, don't touch it till it moves, and then chase it?
Dollar is in that ranging sideways area on the daily. It has been for the last 10 trading days. It still is.
What I think is going to happen here, it's going to keep going up, and the stock market is going to sell off so fucking big right now. If you look at, finally, we got a crack in the armor. Stocks are about to collapse heavily, and there's going to be the most, don't forget, as you can see by the Black Rifle Fucknut Coffee Company, these people get all fucking woke and they become their own worst. They get these trades like inflation's coming in, and people are hog long some of this shit. Wait till the fucking reality kicks in, and you come into Christmas. Don't forget, we have somebody that's coming back to town who was the guy that basically instituted logic and reason into the government, which was kind of harsh pill for the parasites to swallow. The people that have been living the largesse of contracts and, selling influence. I mean, that's, the celebrity of political celebrity,
At the moment.
That's going to blow up. That's so the crushing blow of reality is going to come to all markets. It doesn't make sense fundamentally. the Dow Jones making new highs. The bellwether is supposed to be the DAX, which is the German stock market for some reason. And that just is climaxing. And Merkel comes over here so you can put fundamental political things about that and go, oh boy. Now at some point there's going to be a little child that says the emperor's clothes, he has none. There's an aha moment coming. And people are going to shit their pants and they're going to blame it on the powers that be. When if you're not in that trade, you don't give a fuck.
And I'll be continuing to watch, breaking it down into the 1 hour to see where we could go next. Prices back at this resistance area. Definitely building up lots and lots of liquidity running across this area here.
What a buzzword, liquidity. Another bullshit buzzword, these fucknuts.
But for the moment, it's down to price action, down to price flow, and it's down to a breakout. It is down to a breakout with price being in this...
Dude, it's order flow, price action. Get the buzzwords right.
Region. That is what it comes down to. It comes down to price showing further directional. Weekly obviously closed bullish. I don't mind seeing further upside. I really don't.
You don't mind it, huh? Okay.
What do I need to see? Well, I need to see price impulsively break out of this region. Look,
so this is a classic Goober-esque view. I need to see it break out. I need to see it go up and then I'll buy. Confirmation entry. What a pussy fuck.
We've got 1200.
You just can tell. You can just tell. This shit just annoys the fuck out of me. Why do you criticize? He's a really nice guy. I'm sure he is, Don't let him breed.
Up here we can very easily come into. Okay? But we would
This guy needs to be neutered. This guy needs to change his gender. We can't have him breeding. We don't need any more goobers, please. You can see how many. They're still wearing the masks out there. They still got the fucking diaper. You have to say face diaper, right? That's probably been picked up by Rose.
See price get out of here. Show no momentum.
Confirmation entry on that mask. Deployment of mask confirmation. Oh, my buddy just died. He had put his mask on backwards and attracted every fucking virus within 1,000 miles.
Momentum and continue. We need to see price out. Eventually it will break. When? That's the patience game. And
why can't I just have patience for the trade I'm trapped in? These are harebrained notions, man. I wish people let go of this shit, but you can't unlearn. You just can't fix fucking fear. It's all about fear. He's so afraid to fucking put on a trade and be wrong. These are two. If one's a financial thing, one's an ego.
And while that patience game happening, there's lots of impatient people giving their money back to the market, and it's best that you avoid that. Okay, so
wait for the premium entry. Total confirmation, please.
Euro USD, as I just mentioned, within the dollar has of course been sideways, and when
it's a dollar, not a dollar. Wow. The guy never trades.
Dollar is all obviously sideways. It does lead Euro USD to, of course, go into a similar fashion, where we can see here that we have just pretty much Friday, Thursday.
Here's a sweet entry right here. Anybody missed this one? That window. So if I move the window up and buy below the body, more aggressive breakout trading on the upside there, break out of that doji. You can put a buy stop and a sell stop in the daily there. Small bars too. Small bars, small bodies. You could have a breakout trade set up here. You put buy stops above, sell stops below. This guy doesn't have a clue. If you don't think buying down here is a good idea, then you just don't understand how markets work. They go up and down. If you come out here, we would buy it. And I would totally buy that. Would I sell up here? Maybe for a scalp, but boy, I certainly want to be a buyer. If we take out this, oh, I'm buying so much down here. It's a no-brainer, dude. All next week I'll have buy limits here. I don't give a fuck of the final destination of this currency. I really don't. It would not matter. If I think it's going to here or here, it does not matter, because I'm just trying to make X. I will so gladly buy anything below here. Buy. Scalp to the low for the first high probability target. Maybe it does engulf. Maybe it does come ripping back. Yeah, this price doesn't. It kind of matters, I suppose, carried forward. That's about as deep as I'd have to go. I think what matters more is this high. This high, this high. Now that you've created this vacuum down, so if you're scalping it, you would sell limits here, but then you have to scalp to there. Now we have a doji. Buy limits here. But I don't, for me, I'm going to make money in this many pips. I can't, also there's no reference for how much pips this is here. There's no reference of time either. I can't see the monthly. This is a daily, so you should see a vertical month on this. Okay.
Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, we've pretty much taken a drop into support and a reaction off of there. Thursday, Friday last week was super.
Off of there. No, he just went like mafia, like off of there. You see what I'm saying?
Super slow, as you can see.
He has an accent problem. He keeps shifting accents on me.
Thursday, Friday last
week. Goes from ghetto to smarmy.
Friday even closing very, very slow as the indecision there. But what we must remember here is remember on the dollar.
Be patient. Remember to be patient. It is what it is.
We've got that as
it's price action.
Ascending corrective move. As we go into Euro USD, we actually have on the daily time frame here a descending corrective move.
A descending corrective move. But how we make money? Is this guy ever gonna even put on a fucking another guy that won't even say buy or sell? Well, it's like saying fraud. See what you're doing there? It's like vaccine fraud. See, can't say that.
Not saying we're definitely going to see upside. I'm saying we could possibly
up. Is that like bullish?
Because I'm seeing a loss in momentum here on the daily time frame. I'm seeing daily time frame show a loss in momentum. So we could see a turnaround from there. Also, this market does still longer term. Okay, bigger picture still is trading between the higher low, weekly higher low down here, and weekly high up here. So we're still trading with inside. We're seeing a loss and slowdown in momentum. But as we just go into the 4-hour time frame, actually let's go into the other charts, we'll start to see that price here is just very backwards and forwards. Remember, guys, we're on.
Stop! I can't take it. I can't fucking get through the video, dude. Sorry. This is just bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's all fucking bull. Now let's go down to the comments. Kind of curious. Let's take a look at the Goobers comments. This is the unwashed. Daily grind. Keep up the great work, James. I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you, James. Good to watch. As it is very realistic analysis. Not trading. Very realistic analysis. Here we go. Thanks, James. Great work. I've learned a lot from you. About what? To do what? Well, to be patient. Hello? What are you, an angry trader? Yes. Shut the fuck up. Thank you. Super fine content as always. Bless you. Do you check moving averages to see what others may be seeing? No, we're not allowed to talk about moving averages here. Do you want to be banned? James, could you cover indices? Why? You have nothing to say about that either. Great as always. Here's a guy. The GB, the British pound USD will rise tomorrow or decrease. Please reply. Oh, will it? He's asking, will it rise or decrease? Please reply. Is necessary because I opened a purchase deal. So now he's in the trade and he's shitting his pants. Could you tell me whether I'm gonna be right or wrong in this trade? What a classic goober! Bring him on, dude. We need more people in this business. Really, we need liquidity. So put that trade on, buddy. Don't give a fuck which direction. Howard James. Warning. Okay, that's all we got to say about that. Not too much, right? Okay, so what can we say about this, that, and the other thing? Let's go to our charts. And we're going to bring up the infamous strategy tester, which is how we train ourselves to think in probabilities. This is the training ground. Unfortunately, I miscued this platform, so let me get in to this. The custom size. That I'm missing my key ingredients here. Shut. Please hold. Once again, your call is very important to us. View strategy tester. Strategy tester. Alexis, strategy tester. I don't have Alexis, thank you. That creeps me out. Actually, the whole thing about the robot answering machine just creeps me out. Speakers say what you're calling about. Pussy? You got any? Don't be one. Just have some for me. Indicators. Okay, so I'm gonna run up my template. I'm gonna run the strategy tester and let's try this fucking thing. Let's try to think inside the box and outside the box and all that shit. 1.5 pip spread, the euro, and I should have a contest somewhere in time. Let's just go back. It doesn't matter because I'm going to put up the 1 hour chart. November 13th to September of 2020, just before the shit hit the fan, before we had the insurrection. I mean the regime insurrection, not the we had corporate takeover by Dominion USB. Okay, 1 hour chart, you pick the time frame, and here's the other critical thing. We're going to put our let me share the right template here first. I want to get a pip grid that so this is a 10 pip grid. On top of that, I want to put the bigger handle. So here's the trick. Let's get rid of the 10 pips and ask yourself, how many pips are you trying to make? Let's go big guns. I'll go at 25. So first I'm going to put on this thing called zero handles, which means essentially starting point or 100 pips. And then I'm going to put on the 10 handle. And this is going to be a label, I'm sorry, the 25 grid, which is labeled on the edge. And this is my grid. And we know that 50 pips is the middle. So it's really easy, quick, and dirty. And we're on the 1 hour chart. And we're going to try to make 25 pips or 50 pips. And now we're going to rehearse the market. So this is going to be my template to trade with. We've saved it. Now we're going to run it. And it's going to look like this. With the 1 hour chart, we can really track it pretty fast, and we're going to have visualization turned on. Here's the speed. 32 is the max. It's like one of those new digital amps. Goes to 32. and we start. We'll grab the data. Every tick is picked, and it's about the speed of the playback. Wait for the grab the data. So while it's grabbing the data, what we're going to do here is pick out the trade plans. I don't have a consolidated basket of all these scripts, but I do have these scripts here. So I typically use, I like a 4-hour time frame. I like to make about, I will move some of these targets. Now here's a nice ratio. Risk 13 pips to make 33 pips. That's roughly $7 to make $10. So $70 to make $100. If you put 10 of those in, that's a 6K getting into a 5 pip range. So I can mark off. I can't actually drop this on the chart, but I can mark off roughly what this would be in a. We know the spread is 1. If I set the spread to 5, just so I get visual representation of this, of what 5 pips looks like, right? Okay, here it comes. Now here's the default template, which is bullshit. I'm going to put in this template I just wrote. Okay, 25 pip grid on top of 100. Now, just because I'm impatient as hell, I'm going to speed this way the fuck up. Max speed. We have plenty of time to get in these trades, too. Now, let's let the market develop a little. Max zoom out. Now we have a perfect linear grid here of 25 pips. If we draw an angle here, this is 25 pips per day rate of change, right? Because this is a day on the diag, and that's 25 pips. So just to get an idea, the rate of change, about 25 pips a day, this thing's moving at this moment during this phase. So that's the rate of change. So in 10 days, you should make 250 pips. If it keeps going down, but there's a bunch of zigzags, so let's zoom in one level. This can make all the difference here. I want to get into where I can see my trades. Now that's just kind of like, it just kind of, when I zoomed out there, it just looked cool that it was square. But forget that shit. What I'm looking at more is this. If I sell above the body, which is above closing prices, I sell here on the day it pokes up here. And I'm going to have to draw with my marker here. So here's the top become a bottom. I would buy at the market here, but I'm really buying because it just stop hunted that. Now here's the close. We go out. Here comes Asia. We're flat. Now, look how it comes up into this. I got sell limits here. I got sell limits above this. I'm trying to make 25 pips, so I grab the actually, I like this one. Risk 30 to make 20. So if I put a 30 pip stop above the high of the day, in Asia, it looked like it was really ripping up, right? But see how it came to this floor? And everybody went the other way? Okay. I got to really go through this quickly. It's moving very fast. So you see this was the exit point. Now I know it looked like, oh, now if you held this into Asia for the last little pop, what if you have sell limits above the high of the day? You are short now, you are up. Hello, 50 pips up on your 30 pip stop. You're cashed out of your 20s. Now you put buy limits in here. I'm just going to call them off really fast the way I'm seeing it. This is going to be very long. If I let this go, right? Okay, there is sell limits got triggered here. See the fill? And it ripped back. Boom, you're out. Now, do you sell above here? I got sell limits here, so I just got filled. I got a stop here. I got a stop here. I just cashed out. I just made 50, right? Now I buy at the market because it's down on the 1 hour, and I put buy limits in here. Oh, just got filled. Just bagged. Fill, fill, fill. Filling, filling. cashing out, boom. That's my trade. That's what I do. Now, will I sell above here? Yes. Go to sleep. I got sell limits up here, waiting to get filled. I got a 50 pip window of sell limits. Now, if you can't afford that, but here what I do is take these guys, I drag them over, I drop them. It's a 1 hour chart. So let's see if we can count the expirations that's happening too here. Since I discovered this way of trading, I just don't feel like I'm ever going to have a problem finding a trade. Every day there's a trade. Every day is a fucking IQ test for the goober. So, according to that guy we just watched, there's resistance here. What do I do? I don't know. Buy limit, sell limits. I drop the sell limits right here. So when I come over to drag them, I sell this whole window up here. Now this could be just crazy, but guess what? I just sold here. Why? Because in Europe, they went up and they hit this little supply zone, this little sliver up here. Oh, that was a great trade. So you could have sold here. If you're still holding, don't forget, if you're still holding the sells from here, hello, 75 pips, and I just bought that. This is too much trading I think people just don't see what I'm doing because they're like, man, you got a lot of trading going on there. Yeah, why not, right? Buy limits just got filled, I think. But if you buy below the body, which is below the close, yeah, definitely filled. Definitely Walmart. Here, I'm buying this. I'll buy more down here, but scalping out and buy limits below here now. Big buy limits down here, but this is what they're ready to go after this, right? I mean, when we dive into this vacuum, we're probably going to get a 50 pip pop and a rip back. Scale into it, cash out. Bought pull back here, structure on close of the market. Okay, now they're filling the limits. The scalpers took off the top. I think we're going to go higher now. I buy the pullback on the hour. We buy here. We got limits down here. Maybe that's the tippity top and we're going to go like this. But typically we will probe that area. And that's another high probability low risk trade is to come in here with your sell limits just above the high of the day. Right? You got in here, you cashed out here, you made 25 pips. Now we're going to sell above that again. And the expiration on the price here is going to be all day long. So the expiration is longer here, here. So with a 4 hour script up in here, we just bagged that. If we dropped it here though, see, if we dropped it back there, it had to last all day for that to be valid. Now we just made almost 50 pips. And now we're going to buy limits here. We may never get up there. So I'm accounting for both. Oh, we just bought that little trap there. Now we're going to hold for a run to here. Can't you do it? Boom. So head come back here. Now we're selling into that. Now this is a little white knuckle for people. I know they don't like it. That's a 1 hour chart. Don't forget that's only 1 hour movement. Now it comes back, and if you got your scalps built in, because you're selling off of this, when it comes back to here, you can go flat on whole business. You may not get it though. It may just keep ripping. So this is what it's not good for people, because they built their thing around a particular scenario that doesn't unfold. When you get up to this order block here, see now, I like this because I can see this is probably divergence on RSI here. Sell that. Oh yeah, let me throw the RSI in here. Yeah, let's see, it's going to move past my drawing. So that's not good. Okay, we're selling again on limits up there. As we crush up. I like the RSI 3 period. So let me show you how the RSI works there. Insert oscillators. Because it oscillates. It's like price action, but it's going up and down. 3 period in white. White as can be. So here's an entry for RSI. More oversold. Higher price, slightly. And there's a 25 pip scalp in there. Now we're going to go hog long. We're going into they're hitting my sell limits up here in this. The cool thing about these Forex price charts is this line is going back into that, so you can see them tagging that. Now we're going to cash out here to make 25. If we come back, we don't have to. We could just keep on. Here's where it's just unbelievable. So RSI has the same situation. If you buy RSI and treat this like, okay, here's the supply zone in RSI. What's the diff? Okay, we finally made our 50 pips off of the top ticket there. Now this is really tough because people are like, I can't believe I'm selling new highs here. Now this was if you sold the high there the day, because it's 1 day from here to here. Nice winner. And if you're holding for a collapse into this vacuum, and of course now I'm thinking, let's buy this, you know. If I was not short into that, and don't forget there's somebody that's short from here right now, they're just white knuckling that, and they're down 100 pips. But they're swing traders, and they're cashing out, and they just made 75 pips off the top of that. Now, I went back somewhere in time, and every time I do this video, I go back to a different place in time, but amazingly to me, it seems like the same fucking week, the same rinse and repeat bullshit we see every time. The goobers get excited here. They're like, I'm so bullish, I'm so bullish. Meanwhile, I had sell limits up in this whole pocket. So for 2 days, I'm a seller, and I just made 100 pips coming back. Isn't that amazing? And why is the big sell is up here? The big lie. Oof, and at the last little tick, and then all sideways, and even the breakout traders dojied out. Boom. I'm a buyer below here, though. If I'm not long, I know where to get long. The only thing is the effort of playing the orders in. So if I drop a script in here, so I see the market ripping back. It comes flying down, and I'm like, oh my God, it looks like they're going to go after this area. At this point of the chart, I'll put 8-hour tickets in. I'm like, dude, we're just going to buy in this pocket. And sure enough, we made ourselves 30 to 40 pips there. Now, if you're still holding, you're like, I'm going to hold the whole position until we take out this. But in the meantime, why not put buy limits here? Why not put buy limits here? In case it does one of these spike-a-roonies, and then it goes like that, which we see all the time, like this. Down and rip. That's a scenario, right? We know how to scenario trade it. Also, this it's oversold on our side. Just fucking buy it. It's down by. So we got buy limits down here. We could have sell limits here, but they got to be scalps. Yeah, scalps have to be intermingled there, and you'll never survive these markets trading one fucking ticket. Especially not the way I'm doing it here. There's no fucking way. And here comes Asia. The longer it goes sideways, the more potential there is for us to crush down here or crush up there. Maximum playback speed is going on right now. So we're getting filled on the sell limits, and if you were long and still holding from all the stuff you bought in this supply zone, you're probably cashing out. And see, I took out the high of the day. That's a scalp right there. You put a sell limit at the high of the previous day, and you're willing to risk 25 pips to make 25. You just made 25. Now we might actually come down here. We don't know, but you made that. It wicked in, so now I'm thinking buy limits here for 20. This is a 75 pip range of buy limits. You're going to buy way more below here, and even more below here. So this is all of a sudden become prime real estate down here. As the market walks forward, this becomes more and more important. This void, because this has not been filled. This does matter. This whole window here. Let me throw some indicators on from the it's too easy to draw with that. So big pocket of buy window here. Now, I'm going to change this settings on this to, by the way, if you're short from the top of that day, you're loving it. You're up 50 pips right now. I can just tell by visually, I can tell exactly how many pips. I wouldn't trade without some type of, now we're coming into it, right? So the first buy window was here. I went long here, like I said I would, and now they scalped to the floor. Now hold it, and the next target's going to be obviously the last down support, which would be this, and the nearest support is here. So a lot of people probably, if they're buying into this plunge, there's the dead cat bounce to the floor. Now we're buying more, and then we're going to buy the mostest right down here and drag this right down to the wick. It's in this slot right here. We're going to buy on that 50 pip window of massive buying. What I said about the guy that sold above this, he is up 25 pips on his worst entry. Okay, we loaded the wagon here. See how when Asia opened, they came down and took it almost out by a nick. That whole window, we are long. Now we're cashing out. First target, second target. Boom. Boom, I'm out. So I made 50 pips. Risking 50 pips. People like that break-even shit. But what if I bought down here really heavy? We never got this window. Never, maybe later. A lot of people have cashed out. Retap that window. So the beauty of this is that I can drop 1 hour, 3 hour, 4 hours, retap the window, scalp a little bit there. It's 25 pips from here to here. Don't forget, this is what we're trading as pips. So we have buy limits here. Pant load of buy limits down here. This never changes. The beauty of structure trading is this goes out into the future without an angle, without a trend line, without any indicators. This exists forever into the future. That is the whole key. This will always be a prime real estate to buy in. Looks like they're about to take it down there. You'd be up 50 pips if you sold into that target. And we just wait. We got a limit grids in there, and this could be quite the hysterical plunge because that's a very old vacuum that's formed there now. And this is of no consequence anymore. This has been tagged and bagged. That is totally, I meant to delete just that one. This is still valid. Okay, we're coming into my window. I meant this one here. That's why I was trying to delete just this one here, because this one doesn't mean anything. Also, what matters really now is this one, super deep. And this could come down here and just blow everybody's mind. We don't have enough history in the chart to really... Yeah, we do. Okay, so here's a deep look into supply and demand zones that go way back. And we could get down here and it'd be hysterical. The market will lose its mind. But we went long. We are long in this rectangle now. And here was the scalp to this. This is your high probability tag out, right? This was resistance becomes, support becomes resistance. It overshoots a little bit. Now we bought heavily into that, and this will be the next place to get out for the scalp. And we're coming into Asia. We could actually go lower. So typically, that if we're very close to the edge, they'll take out the low in the next session. Oh, Jesus, moving very quickly. I wish the market moved this quick in real life. So we take out the low, you got to buy that. So here's where it's kind of an easy trade. You're going to buy the low of the previous day whenever it happens. It doesn't matter. So I always do put orders for that trade. So I'm trading multiple strategies, I suppose. That window. Oh, I got to find the hotkeys for that. That window there. So I'm long. Don't forget I'm long in this big rectangle. Boom. So the reason why it's hard for people to buy down here, when you're buying the low of the previous day, Man, as that guy said, liquidity there. But look at this. Were you planning on making 100 pips on that? Yes, you could add a trend line here and say, I'm waiting for that trend line to break, and I'm going to buy stops here. I got you. But didn't I just make more money trading this new low to here, new low, new low? And I said, I'm committed to this window. That's a ton of fucking money. Sell limits above here. And once again, buy limits here because we could come back. Anyways, I'm hungry. I got to get something to eat, but just see that some of these moves, the big move that guy's waiting for, if you built a long position in here, and I did, as you can see, that's my strategy, is to accumulate scaling in on that and to get in the edge of the market, literally the edge. Okay, so, okay. So this big wide view, let me get rid of SAR, so I'm not really using it. So indicator list, yeah, see, I don't use it because I just trade price. But I put that for anybody to give a fuck. Okay. Oh, sorry. All right, so now this was a nice, and of course this is a different stop area because this is kind of a, if you buy this as Asia, and once again you're buying the new lows. It didn't take out the low today, but it came down and made new lows. See how they spiked and took out that Asia low, and now they're just wrapping it around. Now it's just going in that chop shit, but selling above the high of the previous day. So selling new highs and new lows of the previous day. This is another, if you get the stops, you get your 25 pip stops run, right? We sell limits here with a 25 pip stop. Did we not just make 25 to 40 pips? We do it again. We made 25 pips. We do it again. So if 25 pips isn't enough money for you, then sell up here, wait for it to come down here. Now, it's easy for me to trade this now because I just put buy limits in here, sell limits here. The market's telling me what trades to do. I know these are key levels. Everybody can see this is going to be a great place to buy below here. But now, here's where it's could be a problem. We might rifle all the way down there very quickly. Okay, we're diving in. We're 25 pips in. I'm going to scalp out to what used to be support. Now we're in for 25 pips. It's a 1 hour chart, so I know that this is U.S. markets. Can we drift up into here? Oh, no, it looks like they're going to just pound it. So that is why people are getting blown up, is because they're not... they don't realize that this is such a liquidity pool of insanity. And of course, we see we're already out of that trade. Buying into that, and then when Asia comes, I'm sorry, the U.S. markets close, it comes ripping back. I'm out. And when that spread goes to 10, that's why you want to trade the most liquid instruments. The spread doesn't get too nasty here. We can't see the spread expand. It's I got to fix it 1.5 pips here. So I hope that helps. No indicators. Supply and demand zones, windows, areas. And that's that. And that's how we do it. So good luck picking out the scripts. You know, that's going to be the trick. You're going to looking for, if you're going to run 25 pip stops, you come down here. I got all sorts of scripts. They're all different places. But here, like here, if you're a swing trader, you're trying to make 80 pips with a 30 pip stop. That's a 6K and a 10 pip window. So this is a 25 pip window. You take that, you drag and you drop it here. You sit back. You didn't make 80 pips. You only made 50, 75. Okay, here's a break even. 20 pips to make 20 pips. Classic. It's a 5K. It's a 5K. I think it's not going to let me trade it, but I wish I could drop that and have it employ, right? It won't. So, see, it's freaking out. But that's what you do. Is you're dropping these. This is a 25 pip grid. So, And people will say, boy, that thing really respects the 25 pip grid. It does better than Fibonacci. And of course, your eyes just attract to that. Look how it just bangs off that round number. Then it doesn't hit this round number. So you really can't use it. I'm just using it as a risk assessment. Now, I am short off of that. I'm short into that window. I hope you can see by now. You want to sell here, irregardless of what patience you have, because you just made 25 pips. Now you just made 50. And of course, when I see it drop like this, I start to do this. Buy limits, buy limits, buy limits. So I come over here, grab my scripts, drop them in just in front of the market, sit back, and see what happens. Now, this is what blows people's minds, is this move. And that's got to be news. I'm going to tell you that's got to be news because of the time of day that is. And you're going to get stopped out of some of these tickets, but this is a key where you really need to trade heavy. And look how they just almost nicked the wick down. That's spastic. You should have made your 25 pips already there on something. I'm talking to myself now. My script should have risk 30 to make 20. Risk, and the time you're going to need that script is you come in here, you got a 50 pip stop. They just wash you out. If you start buying here, not realizing that, well, what's the fuel for this? Why such a big down move? Hello, you just tagged and bagged the vacuum from here. That's what's causing this. So the cause and effect, why is the market moving so hard? I don't think indicator moving average people can see why it's such a violent move. It's because this is a serious void. This void's been bagged, but this one hasn't, and it goes back for days. And once they tag that, oof, there's hell to pay. And once again, buy here. Buy, 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 buy. This is a 4-day, and look how it just, in Asia, once again, the Asian trick. There's so much to say here in the markets. I should slow it down just to see here, but I really am in a hurry here. The low of the previous day in Asia, they wash it out. And look how many pips. But then here's the retap, and a lot of people aren't ready for that retap. They're like, what the fuck? Now that's news. News coming out. That's Friday too, isn't it? Wait, here's the... shit, I can't send this. Okay, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we could see it now. This is what just blows up every trend trader that's trading on whatever harebrained thing. This just blows them up. To me, that's just a gold mine. I just see that now as what I never saw before. And this is starting to be pent up demand. We're getting a lot of, this is going to be, if we ever come down here, we could just rip into that and rip back because that's the fuel. Now we have voids forming here. The longer it goes sideways, now we sell into this. We sell the high of the previous day and commit to this pip range. Now they might have just blown you up there, right? If you got tight stops in there, they destroyed you. It's very hard for people to imagine that when it gets up here, you have to sell more. Why? Because see how much you just made back to the floor. Now that is what people are saying to me. What do you do about this move? Okay, so this, you're selling above the high of the day. You can't trade above the 25 pip stop. You have to put a 100 pip stop on that. But what if you sell a 1, a 2K, a 3K, a 4K, a 5K, a 6K, and 8K? They fill you on the top here, and you just made, what, 50 pips? All the way back to support. Or you could sit here and wait for it to confirmation. Comes back, tops become bottoms. I got you. And buy here. Put on limits because at the market, if you wait every hour to pull the trigger, it's already wicked, right? If you're waiting for here to buy, they wicked in here. You missed it because you would have had to pull the trigger every 5 minutes it's down to say that you bought the bearish candle and they went against the, Anyways, I could go on for fucking 3 hours here, but I'm not. So that's that. Let's We'll take a long view version of different currency pairs in the future. But yeah, look at that Bitcoin. She's ready to go through the fucking floor. Look at that. Now look at that. You got a sell limit up here. Do you see how fast that money was? You put a sell limit at the tippy top and you just made 35 pips if you set your target. So you could have... There's a lot of work to be done here. Never got that price. Never got it. Look how frantic that thing is. Now this is forming as a huge buy zone. And what is the brutalist buy zone where people are just going to... Can't believe we're ever going to come back here, and you totally could, but it looks like we're itching to blow through the top here. There's something brewing up on this. The last video I did that didn't post because I had distortion. I said I'm going to stop taping. I went for another fucking half hour. You see the supply up there? You see how wicked that is? Wickedy wicked? Look at that. 25 pips. What's going to happen if we come up in this window? Sellers galore, and you could come all the way back here, and then you could start to just go here, and people are like, what the fuck? It's rigged. Yeah. Rigged. You're a victim. I know. You poor thing. Waiting. Okay, so they filled that. I just got filled on my sell limit that I placed on structure here, this week tip, and let me see how many pips I can make. I'm up 25 right now, and I'm looking at this. I'm not looking over here at the right. I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this. The cool thing about this current price is it, if I sold here, I can just look at that and wait for it to get to about here and say, oh, I just made fucking a ton of pips. Yeah, I made this a deep pullback, but you know, as it goes, we could also see another smack down to here now. And why would we see that? Once again, this is a huge, deep supply zone that needs to be answered by a huge sell-off to compensate and offset, create the equilibrium. Remember, that was in my last video. Oh, it's the equilibrium area. And we're holding. Oh, boom. See, now, if you could have the patience, and you don't, speaking for myself, you sell here, and you're like, yeah, why should I hold that trade? Because look at the supply zone, just like this one. Look at the rip back on that. Now I got buy limits below here. This is also a liability. I mean, this is going to be a huge place to just pummel that and rip. And this is what's just crushing people's brains. But for me, it's absolute gold mine. I'm buying below this now. I have a reason to buy that is so fucking stupid. It just goes over people's intellectual fucking woke goddamn college-bred bullshit minds. Their Marxist, idealistic, utopian view of building an algorithm to... Sorry, buddy. The fuel, why did that sell off so hard? It was just supposed to be a scalp. Why should I have held it? Because this is such a fuel. This is all the fuel. This is fucking bigger fuel than the other one. How many days deep is that vac? And here, we just got filled on that. We just bagged about 50 pips here. These vacuums keep changing dimension as time goes on. That's what's fucking people up. They're like, well, wait a minute, this vacuum here. Yeah, no, this pocket, it's a different size vacuum. And that's what's giving you this chatter, right? All the mini vac fills, all the baby vacs, and then the big kahuna vac needs to be satisfied by an equilibrium, equal and opposite reaction, engulfment auction, full tilt auction, coming back the other way to the other side of the and once again, another no-brainer entry, buying new lows of the day here in the US market. Buy. And where do you buy the mostest? Right here. Right there. And where do you bet the ranch? Below there. Are you going to get it? You may not. That's why if you start buying below here, which I do, I have wide stops and I have tight stops. And my scalps, and here we're waiting for to take out Asia. Will we take out Asia? I don't know. We're too far from when this market closes. So let me zoom in. When this market closes, it's closed. Here's Asia. Can we take out the low of the previous day? I'm ready for it if they do. But for the moment, based on my entry, I'm long because of this vacuum. I think this is enough fuel to propel us up into here and maybe take out this. I'm glad to scalp to the support of that hole, that void. Boom, I'm out. So I'm out on my scalps. And I don't think I'm alone on that. That's why you see that huge pullback. Now, if you're for the long run, next target. Big sellers up here. And this, I guess I'm price action trading, God forbid. I guess I am. So see how that works. Now, it was not really, just watching it happen. I mean, you gotta, no matter how you have figured out not to blink, as I throw a snowball at you, and there's 5 inches of plexiglass between me and you, and there's 5 inches between the snowball and you. As the snowball hurls towards the plexiglass of 5 inches, you're going to flinch, you're going to blink. You really are. Until, I guess, if you do enough of these trades of this style, you'll realize that, if I feel I'm about to blink, I know it's a good trade. Now, granted, this is a 35 pip window of crush. From here to here, people are like, holy shit. This here is enough fuel to give you this and beyond. Now you got this window of buy again. Sell. Just got filled on buy limits. So I'm a high frequency trader. You can see by my demo account I'm still running, and I'm trading at that market with some limits, but I'm not trading that but I must have about 20,000 trades in that by now. I will load the wagon here. I would load the wagon on if I could, and of course you're allowed 1,000 tickets, which means if I traded at the market, I'd have to have 1,000 mouse clicks. And I've done it before to max out that position to make some good gains, because now that the account's at 25,000 from 10 or 5 or whatever I started from, is hard to really make those kind of percentage leaps now, because now we're stuck with the fact that we just can't trade that many tickets. Okay, once again, I'm filled here. I'm filled. Like I said, this is the deepest mind-blowing vacuum here. And look how fast we're down it. Let me zoom out. I guess this is going to be like the other video where I said I'm done. But here, I just can't resist. Wait. Now here's the monster vac, which is going to cause a big order imbalance equilibrium. Right here. This is like so many days old. And if we dip into that, people are going to lose their minds. But I see the retracement scalps in that, and it looks like we are going to go for that. You're down 50 pips if you're in from here on down right now. Speaking of this low. And this is tough. Nobody likes this feeling. You're at 25 pips, you're down 25 pips. But the reason why you want to stay in this trade for the full tilt auction coming back the other way is because this is 15 days of void. We could expect to see a rip up now. We've filled that, and I've just made my 25 pips. I still got buy limits in a 50 pip window down here. It's so easy to... This 25 pip grid is so easy and clean. If you're trying to make 25 pips, though, because running with the 5 pips and your scalpers, like in other words, during this, if you don't mind trading this noise, a lot of money here. But what the guy was just showing in that chart, what he doesn't understand, I think, is that he does talk about liquidity. He has got the buzzwords down, right? He didn't use equilibrium, though. He's got the buzzwords down, but he doesn't see what's really going on. Why such a reaction? Look at this. We're up 75 pips from the bottom ticket there. Yeah, because this is an old slot, see? So this is what I discovered. It's not so much the price, it's the lack of price. So when we get this big reaction. Huge feeding zone. Wow. Fucking wow. 75 pips now. I'm out. Because I got my targets don't go past 100. I got like 80 pip targets here. Now I could scooch my target up. But let's be realistic, like that guy said. I like your realistic analysis. How about some realistic trading, you fucking pussy? Jesus Christ. God damn, testosterone is missing. And here's a pullback. So if I go into the minutia, let's say the buddy, the millionaire guy, a lot of minutia you talk about. See this little baby trap? Now that's a different trade plan. I got a 10 pip stop, maybe a 12 to make 20. I could drop that and go, yeah, or I could buy at the market here. Now, if you're in this 1 hour, look at these beautiful top, become a bottom on the closing. Bing, 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 bing. Rip into the floor, or people cash out. Overshoots the runway there a little bit. Now we bought this void. Asia takes out the low, doesn't get this low. We got sell limits here. But look at this puppy. Why all the bullishness? Because this is such a huge fueling point, dude. Big reactions off big voids. Big void here. Big void here. We could probably get a pullback to here off of this void. It's so big and old and long. Big old long. That's how she likes it. See? Just to make the 25 pips is the scalp here, right? Hope you caught that. You sold here with a 25 pip stop to make 25 pips, and darn sure, now we did come back to here. But we could actually overshoot and come back in deep because this is still. But knowing when to get out of this is because when you go from deep vac to deep vac, it's bookends. It's a full tilt auction. You made new low, new high, higher highs, higher lows. That's another fucking thing, a trope that's making me want to throw up in my mouth every time I fucking hear that shit. People are going to watch this video just because it's 2 hours and 30, it should be 4 hours, right? I noticed that my viewership goes up the longer the video because it's like the music I play. I'm improving the whole time, and every now and then there's a kernel of truth that comes out. It's fucking nuts, but great place to buy on structure. But one trick pony trading it, now there'll be a huge reaction to that in a scalp. We sell the high of the day. We scalped our 25. Now, can we crush in? Yes. We crush into this. Imagine you're still holding from here. Now, I wouldn't because I'd be out here. Like, I get out there, even though I could say, well, I should have stayed in because look where it's at now. Yeah, but I know how I'm trading it. I know I want to get in here. That's the 1 hour chart. Sell, 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 sell. Pant load above that. Just really heavy. Now we're looking to cash out to here. We are short right now. We're underwater. That is now when we come into Asia. Okay, that U.S. market's ending now. Looks like they're going to take it higher in Asia. Nope, cashed out. See, there you go. Once again. And why such a big reaction? This is an old void that needs to be. Can it be any simpler? I think what's going to really fuck people up with what I'm doing, and you try to do this, is that if you don't have the 30 pip stops commingled with the 40 and the 20 and the 10s, you have to be a man for all seasons, so to speak, here. And what I'm doing, because I do it, it's not a fear of missing out. It's just knowing that you fucking missed out, you're losing fucking money. So I was at a trading class with this guy, and he's a stock trader, married and everything with kids, and he would come home from trading. He was a successful stock trader, but his big obstacle is that when he missed out, he felt like he's losing money. If he's in on the trade, then he feels like, okay, he probably says, should stay longer in that trade. But actually, if he doesn't put the trade on, big problem. And look at the reaction there. So let's take a zoom out and see what's causing all this insanity. Why is the market so frantic, and what should we be doing about it now? Don't be this guy with this lispy motherfucker from Australia, whatever the fuck that is going on. And why is we should expect a big reaction off of this big climax because of this. Holy shit, we finally nailed that. Dude, you're up fucking 75 pips because all you did is perceive this liquidity that goes back even longer. So the liquidity pools get longer and longer. Look where you're at now. You bought here. This is total auction engulfment, and now you're up 75 pips. And even on these trades, you're up, right? Don't forget, you get in early, you scale in. You just got to have the patience to go underwater. I suppose the patience is on. He's saying patience to get in. I'm saying patience to hold the fucking thing and to be trapped in a so-called bad trade, which you just made 75 pips. Yeah, you're underwater there for a while. I know it's hard because if you're getting in too fat, that's what's causing the pain. Look, they just up again. Oh, my God. So I don't think I can zoom out any more than this. But I'm going to try anyways, because that's what I do. I'm relentless, persistent, and a total asshole, but that's what I do for a living. People count on my being critical. I can't resist. I see somebody what the fuck are you doing? What in the flying fuck? Oh, look at it. So we're in that sell window there. Now we could see a big sell-off, potentially. Because we've filled such an old slot. This slot goes back, like on my chart, it goes back to way back machine. Like, look at this. My God, it's that's first 75 pips. This could be a 150 pip winner. We could come crushing all the way back to here. But once again, I'm a buyer here, and I forgot to mention that my orders have expirations. So in the real world, at this moment in time, I'm coming in here with the 8 hours and the 12 hours are down here, whatever. And if you don't have time to get to it, you got orders down here that last all day. All day long. I'm a buyer. So if I put an 8-hour expiration on a ticket down here, I'm going to tell you it's pretty unlikely this market can come down here in 8 hours. But look at the pullback now. Why? The fuel. All the fuel from here, you're now up 75 pips all over again. You're trapped in a 75 pip range. But if you wait long enough, you might come back another 50 pips, and you're going to make so much fucking money. Your shitty fills up here even your shitty fill here is making money. And why is that happening? Because liquidity lives in the void. Look at that. And I'm buying here. I know I'm buying here. I buy old vacuums, and the older the vacuum, the bigger the reaction. And we should have to come up with some rhyme for that for the mastering vacuum trading courses. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? I hope that fucking makes sense to people. And here's the other key. What I'm doing is I didn't do enough talk about the Mark Douglas thing, but I'm trying to just be as efficient as possible. The market's not efficient, supposedly, but I am. Right, sure, buddy. So the Nick the Wick here, right? You just made 25 pips with your, and I'm actually, here's the hard part. Which scripts to employ when? I'm going to put this risk 10 to make 20, risk 12 to make 28. I'm always writing new scripts. Now, if your broker gives you a nice, tight spread, you can say, I'll risk 8 to make 5, or risk 5 to make 8, and you can make money, dude. You can make money because this is the 1 hour chart. And you'd have to wait 3 hours to get paid, 4 hours to get paid, maybe, or 3 days. So this is 1 day from here to here. If you bought back here in this trap and you held that for 1, 2, 3 days, and you have to, when it comes up in here, you have to say to yourself, I'm in the seller's window. I'm in the goober trap confirmation entry window. Get out, because you're going to leave 50 pips on the table. I'm not going to do that. So session to session, I want to be out flat, ready for the next trade. So I'm a I like to keep my inventory rolling over. I want to roll my inventory over. I don't want to sit in there. There's a guy that talks about, I think his name's Booker, and he's like, I think he's a cloud trader, but he talks about, and not everything these people say is right. It's just what the context you're using. And he talks about going full circle. So if you bought down here in this brilliant entry, and you didn't cash out in this obvious, you just tell me that you waited for this thing to come here, and now look at coming back. Almost, you're only up, now you're up 75 pips. You didn't mean to tell me you did not get out up here? I'm buying here, by the way, on limits. I'm in. I'm out on something there. Coming in Asia. I'll be there in a minute, buddy. My crackheads, my crack dealer just showed up. I gotta practice my scalping. But I like that entry. Now you can't really see it unless you zoom in. That's my fave right there. Here's another big, deep slotted vacuum. We should see a huge reaction like we did here. And the deeper, the bigger the reaction. And if we ever make it down here, kitty bar the door. So I'm good with making my 25, 50 pips here with my 25 pip stops all day long, every day, without regard to indicators, moving averages, order blocks. Only vacuum blocks for me. Don't need it, don't want it, can't do it, don't have the patience. Look at that beautiful entry. You got a buy limit right here. Oh my God, how sweet. We're still experiencing this rally is still being fueled off of this slot. Don't forget, this is as good as it got, and now the sellers come in here. And you got to sell that. You got to sell it for the scalp, man. I would sell that all day. I'll always take that trade. It may not make the big money, although this is kind of an old vacuum here. But it's high probability. We just made 25 pips selling above the high of the, all we're selling is new highs. Yeah, you are going to blow up the account if you step in front of here with 40 standard lots and think that, well, I'm going to get in here like Simpleton said and not get out here and do a full auction. No, because hopefully you made the 25 pips here for the obvious, and then you're going to sell more here. Right, you sold the high the previous day, and you just made 25 pips again. You got to see that 25 pip winner. You can't hold here and think it's going to come all the way back, and it might. But I just sold again at new highs. And now it could come back because this is an old vacuum, right? This is kind of old. This is 3 days. Okay, we're going to crush it. Now the news came out. It's FOMC bullshit. We're going to buy it on here. Now, it's not an old vacuum. So I treat it differently. But once again, my tickets expire in a short period of time there. Well, that was weird how that just kind of redrew. I didn't do that, did I? So if I have a March, every day my trade plan is to buy a 25 pip window. It looks like this, and I just march it forward, right? So here's my trade plan. Oh, look at that. Got that nice fill. It took out the low of the previous day. Oh, that was so sneaky. And we just made 50 pips there. Could have, right? We make our 25 clean off the floor, and then we over 50. Now, this is the low of the previous day. We put that trade plan. We implement it. We run it forward. We're going to buy here. And this is an older vacuum. This could potentially, this 25 pip window here, and actually, you could buy 50, but let's just go for the 25. I got a cluster of tickets with different entries, different exits. Never got filled. But what I could do is sell the high of the previous day in Asia. Look at that, got filled. Right, sold the high of the previous day, Asia, they pop up, they take it out, we pick 25. Now they rip. Now they're going to rip it. Now it's like, uh-oh, look out, right? Look out, because I can't even see left here, but I'll tell you what. I know for certain, I'm gonna guarantee you that the vacuum goes back that far, and we're going to see a possibly huge 100 pip sell-off off of that. And people are they're going to be befuddled at this point. Why does it keep tanking? Why is it going down so fucking far? Well, dumb shit. It just filled a goddamn maybe a 3-year high up here. And this is what people don't get about these markets. Look at that shit. We just dropped, I just repainted the grid. We just dropped 25, 50, 75, 100, 125, 150 pips. Now this is a true auction. And what do you do about that? Well, this is one huge day. And if you decide to start buying into this vacuum, I hope you get enough money so then when they get below here, and I'm telling you what, dude, I'm sitting back. I found a random place on the chart. Look at that reaction. And why does the market look like a fucking train wreck? And another fill of a deep vacuum. So these deep vacuum fills, man, I know for certain this has got to be at least that many days of void. And that's why it is, in the end, look at this. Are you kidding me? Perpetual nonsense range trading. Now, are you really going to tell me, honestly, without sounding like a fucking politician with their head up their fucking masked ass, there's somehow a trend here? Huh. If I zoom out, I can crush your trend theory. These are auction markets. Yeah. See, look at the reaction. 100 pips out of that hole. So these shallow voids give shallow reactions. This is a deep void, big reaction. Deep void, big reaction coming back the other way. They're just hunting stops. I guess you could think of it like that. But they're hunting my limits for fill. The guy that buys down here is making some good money off that supply zone. There's a supply zone. They change. There's deep supply zones like this. There's shallow supply zones, and getting your targets and your stops and everything to fit, and you're going to have to go underwater if you're going to scale in this shit. Not every ticket's going to be a winner. You have to make that okay, and I've made it okay for myself. Now, you don't have to do what I'm doing, and you can go about your algorithmic self, and that's fine. I mean, that's just, people are doing that anyways, like it or not. But yeah, it's a lot of craziness. Look at this little sell here. They nicked it high of the day. If you sold there, you could make almost 20 pips. So now this is the hard part. People don't like this part of, what do I do? Well, I can see what I got going here. Is I'm just going to put my classic buy limit. Now, I'm not expecting a giant move. If I put buy limits in here, I'm like, okay, I have to have a lot of buy limits here. But I'm okay because this is my typical trade is if I run a 20, clean to the previous support. So I'm buying the deep dive. Now I look to sell up here. So I'm always going buy limits down here, sell limits, sell new highs, buy new lows. Yeah. We're waiting for Asia to come. We got sell limits pending here. We're looking for some type of, and don't forget, commingled into that. I know I keep saying, well, buy here, get out here, but commingled in there, I'm scaling out. And scaling into the sell side too. Order placement is key. Where do you drag and drop these to? Well, that's what you're going to just have to, how much money's in the account, and you got to just figure that stuff out. That is the hard part. Nobody can save you from the pain of being underwater or losing or blowing up or being wrong. Nobody can save you from that. This is something that's, I guess, mental toughness. I mean, it doesn't exist anymore. Seems not to be the trading psychological, at least for the endurance of, the punishment. Look, it's still feeding off that void. Still feeding off this supply zone. But I could have just as easily got in here and, I missed that new low, but here was the nice juicy void for here. And then we take out the high of the day. You scalp this. And yes, there are sellers up here, and we could see this come all the way back to here. The nice thing about Strategy Tester is just you can picture yourself in this trade and go, oof, that would be brutal. Would I do that trade? Oh, I don't know. They've stopped me. Oh, you have to feel it right now you're making money. And if you martingaled into that, this is why if you martingale into this, where you sell 1K at 2K, 3K, the 3K just made 50 pips, right? Just we're about to. Looks like we could smash down here one last time. And people can't believe, oh my God, they're going to go lower again. You see this frantic shit here. This is news in the morning in U.S. markets. Very dicey. If you try to hold a big giant position and maintain and defend a big giant position in here, it's going to be very tough. You may think that it's going to go here, but look how it came back. Came back to the buy zone, and you're up 50 pips from just selling. At first, it seemed like, oh, I'm getting killed here. I'm selling it. Really? Trading's just really easy when you can think about buy low, sell high. So easier said than done, of course. Anyways, I made it almost to 3 hours, so I know people get a kick out of the long video.